That was such an unlucky boop towards the end there. But yes, that was really well played. They did a bit of ring-a-ring around the Rosie, but in the end, Daemon, they did come out on top, were able to just poke down, force out the immortality field, like you said. And because of that, they were left with basically zero abilities by the time they even got to the Orisa, and then all the healing came out from the BAP.
Yeah, well, look, the MEOW again coming in handy. Does get the wall off to stop the tank, but the healers are really efficient to get over there. Naya, a really huge play to get over the wall to get it, but in the end, it costs them big time. The MEOW gets a couple, but gets taken out. Bob's in a good position here, but a lot of shielding. There's the shatter that we want from Disco. Beautiful, crossing it up, but the clone from the Reinhardt here gets another reverse shatter. That's a huge couple of picks to come out from Banana. Going to be able to clean up some tanks here as well with the support. Beautiful use of the clone there. They've got to make sure they keep on this point so they don't get switched. Beautiful.
Banana Qatar, what was that riff you just pulled there? That was a beautiful little mix-up. I was not expecting that comeback there. They had the Reinhardt, and of course, you had the Orisa barrier as well to keep the rest of the team, which was basically the supports of Naya, to keep everybody alive there. Beautifully played, got a couple of kills, and especially that shatter helped a lot to take out the trade.
Yeah, well, here we go. They're going to open up. That Sigma ult's massive, but there's the immortality field to keep them going. Disco drops his shield for just a moment, and look at them capitalizing on the breaking open of that. Huge amount of damage output. McCree and May here to try hold it together, but they're looking for a pick maybe. They get nothing at all.
This is really, really hard for Battalion to push into, because now that the poke is well and truly just set in on this point, it's really hard to break the backbone. They're going to have to pop a couple of ultimates. Look out for Disco. He's got another shatter.
This is just going to barely get them on the point, but Disco goes down. Not even going to get a chance to get to that shatter. Here's the grab from Coney that we were worried about earlier, but the shielding, both and the immortality field. High Noon comes in and is massive, takes out 3, and now Naya will fall on the point alone. They finally walk themselves back onto this objective.
Jaster, came out huge there. I thought, the both window BAPs were coming through, but Nice was just a little bit better, able to keep the team alive there. She did a beautiful job, but all of a sudden, Jaster came out of nowhere with a High Noon, taking out 3 with no shielding. Nothing to stop the High Noon to come in, and yeah, middays rolled round, and now finally the point's been flipped.
Yeah, that was really effective. The grab using up all the ability. That's the grab going to be blocked for Disco, unfortunately. Not a good start for them on this team fight, but they've split well here, and that allows them to get a cheeky pick on Naya into the back. They're in control, and Disco makes sure that they move in to capitalize on that. They find the picks they're looking for, and now this just trickle kills the nice to pick up later. Great stuff.
Yeah, I think it was good that Daemon didn't use any ultimates there. They did do a little bit of, a switch up with composition. Now that they're going, they've lost the point. They've lost positional advantage when it comes to poke. It's probably best that they did switch off. But because of that, obviously you got that ultimate reset. But you can see already, ultimates are coming back online, so expect a good fight.
Yeah, Disco gets caught on the wall there, managing to get out with the good healing. But really, they have to look the push, and they put Bob onto the objective just to apply that point pressure, and it does actually force them back here. That was really clever from them. MEOW comes down, actually ends up ruining the shatter for their team. That's a bit unfortunate. Another High Noon from Jester, and making sure to pick up one at least. Another grab as well. They're just using their ults so effectively, but having to use a lot here and not getting too many picks. Nice boot there from Baby. Banana goes into the ice, but can't recover out of it. There goes both Orions off the edge, committed to the suicide. You love to see it. Rolling up to that 90%. This is desperate to hold, and it looks like they will. They just have so much manpower here on the point.
They do. Battalion might just take this point. They've only got a Tracer to touch, but I don't think they ever have any blinks, Stranger.
Oh, mate.
That was very well played by Battalion. Once they had that point, they did not relinquish it a single bit. I do agree with you, though. The ultimates that they used were used very, very effectively. Great MEOW, though, I must admit, that came out from, I think it was Banana Qatar that placed the MEOW, but in the end, you got a beautiful boot from Baby that completely disrupted the tank line, and because of that, left the DPS completely vulnerable to everything that was coming at them. And all they had to do was just get Disco and Connie right on top of them. That's exactly what's happened here, Stranger. And yeah, we're looking now into Village here as Sanctum has been taken by Battalion. Both Sims will come out for just a little bit, trying to get their team to the high ground as fast as possible, as there will be a Ryan versus Ryan.
Yeah, look, that was an awesome comeback to watch. Like you say, they really don't give up that point once they get a hold of it. Here again, May, very powerful in this map. Early bit of damage. Reinhardt's colliding head to head. There's a lot of CC coming out with these May freezes, so they got to be careful about their shield management. Still, no picks to come out just yet. Naya's immortality field used up means that their defensive power is not quite there, and that will lead to the falling of their Reinhardt. Unfortunately, here we go for a good pin. The boot saves a lot of them from it, but the positional... Oh man, look at it. They just take that objective like it's nothing. Beautiful play from them. They end up picking 3, which is enough for them to just push them back.
Yeah, so as soon as Raiden walled the who is it? Olsen? Yeah, as soon as he got walled, unfortunately the rest of, well, unfortunately at least for Daemon, you know, the rest of Battalion just pushed up there, forcing the Reinhardt back, forcing all the shields to break, and because of that, the aggression could just come from Battalion. Raiden's walls have been quite beautiful, and I'm looking forward to the next one, especially with the Disco Shatter, and Connie is so close to grab as well.
Yeah, they're going to have to be very careful about this push. So far, so good. Another good immortality field to keep that tank line strong. Great pick onto Baby there. This should open it up with a reduced amount of healing. They should be able to push in another wall up, but it doesn't actually block much, and that allows them to get the shatter through. Connects very nicely, and they manage to capitalize well on it to get a good couple of picks. These are what they're looking for. This should allow them to get on this objective. They flip it back here at 50%.
That was well played there. I was not expecting that flip to really happen, especially because the tank ults for Battalion were of course in their favor now, but now that it's been flipped, I mean, Casper, look out for that grab. It could be absolutely huge. We know how good Naya's, you know, oh my goodness, I keep calling it square, but it's whatever Baptiste's ultimate is that completely exited my mind. But here comes a little bit of a wall. This will be really hard for Daemon.
Oh man, look at the 6 ults is a lot to go against, even with the beat drop. Get rolled. Oh my goodness, what a play! That's how you execute.
That's one way to win.
They walled off, man. Like, oh, it's so good.
That was exceptionally well played there, especially burning through Daemon's sound barrier as well. Just instantly the shields just disappeared. Unlucky from Raiden, tried to get the Reinhardt, but now he's able to just push in.
Oh, High Noon combined with the grab. They break the shield and find 5. My goodness. Mag was told to watch out for them, and they have put on a show tonight. Raiden does what they can to stall, but there's just no point. Wow. Really, to and fro here, isn't it?
It is so to and fro. Mac, that was enormous there. Shields broke, immortality field went down. As soon as that happened, the floodgates just appeared and the clock struck midnight, and it was goodbye and good night to Battalion there. They will have to retake, but it is 83%, so it's final fight territory if they can retake.
Yeah, well, the 4K monitor's up, like you were saying. The square disco gets frozen out of their charge, and that means they fall. Without a Reinhardt, this is going to be a lot harder to push onto this objective. Down goes the Shatter. It kills Fairy, but they manage to trade out there, which still keeps them in a strong position. They push them back, and that's going to be a strong hold. Look, they need every percent they can get here.
They really do. This is final fight territory for a comfortable retake, unless, you know, you come back as a ball and just try and get there. But that's when you have to, you know, deal with Banana and deal with Mag. That would be really, really dangerous. So this is the push that you need. Disco, he will have the shadow for this fight. They'll probably just want to retake quite quickly here. Jasta with the wall as well. So it's almost a deja vu with the second take.
Yeah, good positioning from Daemon here. They managed to get on and shut down Raiden early, putting the fight in an advantage form at 90%. They have to move on. Good shatter across the lane will give them the pin. Look at this huge execute onto the site there. Great use of the shield as well.
Yeah, that was really well played, and now it's ticking up 90% pretty much on the board. It will be a very, very desperate retake for Daemon if they can end up taking this one. But that wall from Sim just completely cut the point in half, and it was a beautiful shatter. They couldn't really do much.
Yeah, look, the ball has to come in desperation to stop overtime, but a freeze on the point is brutal. This is looking really good for Battalion right here. Unless something goes horribly wrong, they have the man advantage. They find the supports to pick it up, and that will be the cleanup they're looking for. Tracer barely making it onto the objective for a second there. This will be the map point to them.
Well done, Battalion, taking out Nepal. That was really well played. I love the way that they're cycling through their ultimates right now, Stranger. We're seeing a lot of the, the combos that you do start to see around these divs, especially the ones that just shut the entire enemy team down, like we're about to see Mag do right here with that 5k that we saw before. He fell so low as well.
Oh my goodness, 14L. Jeez, talk about timing. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, well done, Mag. I know you'll be watching back, but
oh yeah,
well done. Well played. Well played. Valiant. Yeah, I'd be showing that to all my friends. Yeah. So from what we saw there, Stranger, what do you think Daemon would be thinking when going into the next map, which is either Eichenwald or Numbani? What would you try and play to mix up Battalion? Because they're looking so strong with that Reinhardt Zarya, especially with that sub that's come in. Oh, no, never mind. Nebula's now come in. So now Raiden will retake main tank. He did play a pretty good Mei. His walls were great, but now he's onto a different type of wall that will be that Reinhardt because Connie is such an amazing Zarya. Nebula, we haven't really seen them play too much, but expect some amazing DPS pop-offs from them. But yeah, is it almost worth going to Numbani to shake up a little bit of the dive maps if Daemon is comfortable?
Yeah, I think it's a hard one because obviously the characters they're playing is mostly meta. We're seeing a lot of them they're just playing as a team really well. So it's hard to pick on the counter when the whole squad's kind of doing well to protect each other and that kind of thing. I think the biggest thing really they need to focus on is that ult management and making sure that those ults really do count, because I think that's where Battalion kind of thrived on that. They did really well. And the other thing I found was as well that Battalion, once they get a hold of that point, they're really good at keeping it. And so even at the end there, we saw even when they didn't have it, they make sure that they execute right. So they're really thinking about that objective, which is strong play.
Yeah, and which way they go to point, you notice that they don't take high ground as much. They mix it up, especially going main, which is really good. The reason is purely because Mei's on both sides. Extremely easy to wall off the Reinhardt or, anybody in that case, and even on point. So going main sort of negates that, especially because the team, you want to hold high ground for if they go high ground, and if they go to the point, it's a little bit easier to wrap around, but they've got you if you can get to the high ground. So that's why as defenders, you should be taking that high ground for your Mei. But you saw Battalion each and every time mixing up their strategy to get to point, mixing up their pathing. And I think that was what ultimately won them. That was great comms of where they're going, pathing, and also, their ultimate usage was really, really well done. But Daemon, they're putting up a fight here, Stranger. Every time it's gone to almost 99-99. So it's definitely a close game. I'm really looking forward to this Numbani, which I was right. They're probably going to try, mix it up a little bit. But it seems like they're going to play the same Winston Zarya double bubble. There is a little bit of a change up, though. We've got the Anas, of course, for the Genji Blade onto Banana Qatar. Fairy's picking up the Ana too, probably going to nano Raiden when he jumps in.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because obviously now Raiden on the tank, we don't get that Reinhardt anymore. Maybe they're more comfortable on the monkey, so we get a bit of a comp mix-up. I wonder if that'll really affect how these two teams can play against each other. It's how two simple character switches and or player switches, and it could mix things up quite considerably.
Yeah, it can indeed. So I think if you were Battalion here, you kind of just want to hold up to that high ground, let them come to you. Don't jump in as a monkey. You want to sort of reserve it for when they come up top. Battalion, though, Battalion, they're doing a great job here of just poking out Naya, who's the first to fall.
Yeah, they do lose one there. Unfortunately, they lose Raiden in this play as well. It's quite an even trade up here. Brig on the point, not able to really deal that distance damage, so Nebula capitalizes on the range to pick up a couple. Well, they're looking really solid here at holding this off. The poke here from Mag is good, but without the rest of the team at their back, they fall to the Ana Fairy with the aim. Beautiful.
Very cracked on the aim there. Cracked on the sticks tonight. She's bought her PS4 controller and using that to its fullest advantage. Anyway, beautiful play. That's a cut. That's a minute already taken off the clock there. But Daemon, they're coming up with a few ultimates of themselves. Mag, the high noons have been beautiful, trying to probably take out Nebula, who's been flying in the sky as that Echo.
Yeah, that clone's going to come in very important in this fight. Look at that anti-nade, though, with the burst and Raiden slashing through it as well. They just clean up far too many, even with Banana getting the pick. It's not enough to get on the point at all, and now Monkey's on his tail. He's got a monkey on his back, and that's not going to end well for him.
It's not, and crucially as well, it's still about 10 to 20% away from the Dragon Blade. You are going to have to rely on Fairy or some sort of shutdown very quickly onto Banana Guitar. As soon as they've got this combo, it's going to be extremely hard for the defense to stop because they don't have a Zen or a Lucio. So you got to really watch out for how these supports are going to play, and especially Raiden to protect the rest of his team.
Yeah, we've got those ults coming online for a lot of the players here, so gonna have to see how that goes. They've split them well here, but still they're finding the picks. My goodness, Fairy's DPSing. Who needs heals anyway? Player of the match so far. Fantastic push on around the side here. Can they pick up the Echo? But it doesn't matter. That burst damage is just so strong. They still managed to pick up a tank in the end there. Look at this hold. It is just so effective and not even having to use many ults.
They aren't. I think that's the wondrous thing as well. Oh no! Bye, Raiden. That's very unlucky. Very, very good for Daemon, who can see instantly trying to capitalize on that, trying to take out Nebula, who does get away with their life. But you can see Fairy will have the nano, probably going to pop it onto Raiden as soon as they get back. But look out for Banana. He's got the blade. He's popped it.
Oh, down goes the monkey. The sleep Fairy! Oh my god, you're insane tonight. What is going on? They still managed to get one pick out of it, but that is pretty much two ults burnt away for nothingness. The good anti-nade there will pick up Raiden, but Bob's on the point to assist as well. High ground from Mag. Gets Fairy finally taking out the MVP of the night. This actually might lend them to the point. It does look like it. Baby Sauce for what they can, but it doesn't matter. Fairy, just chill out. This is just too much.
You can see just how much they had to pop as well for Daemon. You'd be perfectly happy giving up that point. That is five ultimates that they had to use, and the main tank, they had to switch off Winston. They had to switch off. Let's go ball just to touch the point a little bit here. Fairy's, she's got that gun and she's not even healing anymore. She's just looking for the picks right now. Beautifully played. Echo Nebula does have that copy ability, probably looking to copy maybe someone like the Kree or get a Genji of their own, especially to combo with Fairy.
Oh man,
that won't help Nebula. It doesn't help when you die.
Orson would get away, but they didn't either. Good trade there. The res brings Nebula back in. There's the picks they're looking for. Fairy helping with the nade at the end. Always making sure that they're involved. Man, that's just great retake of the cart there. Just good use of their abilities and solid stuff. But the spawn point right there.
Yeah, but did you see what happened there? Casper, just in a moment of pure, I don't know, I think he was like, we can turn this point around, but unfortunately they couldn't, and they popped the grab a little bit too late, and because of that, they're going to really want that ultimate back.
Nano boost on the monkey. They're going to get aggressive. They have to use ult as well, but there's the anti to just tell them to chill out just a little bit here. Look, Battalion wants to move in, but they're being held back by these single ults. It's great. Raiden, not so lucky. Does get a little deep there and gets caught out. Classic tank maneuvers, and now that means that Battalion can put some aggression onto this car, get a little bit of space here. Coney's trying to hold that front line. The bubble is not really enough to hold against 6 players, so they got to be very careful about it. Great clone here onto the Genji. They can get themselves a blade. It'll be massive. Bob onto the card as well. Reverse blade from Banana in the back line. Shutting down 2 supports is so much power here, and this should allow them to keep this cart still. Great stuff from them.
It was really good stuff. There was a Bob, though, that came out from Jester that sort of held the payload a little bit, so it's an all right straight phase at the moment, but Daemon, you can see the aggression they're taking. Nebula couldn't even think about touching payload, and despite only having about 2.5 minutes, they've seemed to capture it. They do have 2 minutes left, and that last little pick on Raiden will be detrimental, as that will cause Battalion to back up even more than they already have, and that will be less ultimate charge for the defense and more for the attack, as you can just poke around. Nebula switched over to that Reaper, really wants to take this monkey out.
Orson with the ult, gets put to sleep by woken up immediately. Mags in the high ground with the high noon, takes out Fairy, which is a great pick onto that support line. Raiden's trying to hold this front, but there's a lot going on. That shield getting burnt quickly. Nebula has to find a pick, and that's exactly what they do. But unfortunately, they lose Raiden. Down goes Neb as well, which means this cart's just going to be warped. Good little back around there from Jester, and they managed to get away with it for free, which is huge. They'll give them a bit more time and a bit more space. The tanks are going to be looking to hunt that, but Raiden's already back into it. Payload's getting close, so Jess has to move to it. Both the DPS on. They take Naira out, who's got no protection. That's a good retake here. A little split from Battalion on the last few seconds there. It did cost them a lot. And they're going to get trickled heavily here.
Yeah, Casper was getting chased down by Raiden that entire time, so they couldn't even bubble their teammates, as they were just running for their lives. And because of that, Nebula got it a little bit in front of their face any place and was able to just blast them to next week. Because of that, and they're now down to just 45 seconds.
Yeah, they're gonna burn that ult. In comes the inspiration. Grab as well. That should allow them to get a pick, but it doesn't because they shatter down. There's the double kill from Jester. Great high noon use there as they're all on the floor. Naya doesn't even get to walk back with only 20 seconds. I don't even know if they're going to make it.
Yeah, also Nebula probably going to take that high ground, looking for that Death Blossom from above. Of course, there will be a couple of switches. Mag gone onto the Tracer, trying to touch as desperately as possible here. There is only 10 seconds remaining, everybody. Look out there. Look how close they're holding up Battalion. They don't even want Tracer to even think about coming, but here comes the Nano Blade. This could be huge.
Nano Blade. Immortality Field saves some, but Nebula comes in with the ult to pick up Naya. The Blade does manage to connect. Both tanks fall here. Look, this could still work for them. They just need to find a couple more. Great stun. They don't find the kill. Oh, it doesn't matter. Neb's got the pack up. Just helping Jester there. The overtime would trickle. That was a good hold for them in the last few seconds.
Yeah, Nebula came from Daemon's backline, looking at his front line getting destroyed, and was like, don't worry, I can deal with both. I'm a front and a back kind of guy. Came in, and because I think Fairy survived that on the Baptiste, was able to keep Nebula alive as they took out the rest of Daemon. But Daemon did really well despite the time loss, the severe time loss, should I say, on that first point, because Battalion did put up quite a good fight, I must admit there. And yeah, so Daemon, they've got a little bit of it's quite hard to defend Numbani, but if they follow in Battalion's footsteps, perhaps they can, look at a full cap, especially how big the likes of Banana Guitar's blades have been so far, although has probably going to go into the Echo instead. But yeah, lots and lots of still the same dives either side here, Stranger. So we're looking at almost a mirror matchup. However, there is Baby on the Mercy, whereas yeah, we can see a bit of Brig instead, probably just protect Naya, able to, so he can keep his team, keep their team alive a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's a great rundown of it. I mean, it's very interesting to see, like, a lot of these fights, most of them are won based on who can take out the supports first, because right now, the supports on both sides are just having such an impact on these games. I mean, Fairy, I think I might be simping a little bit towards, because, my lord, like, some amazing plays. As an Ana main myself, I'm very impressed.
My grandma. Oh no. Yeah, pathing immediately upwards. That is bold, coming as a dive through that tiny little corridor there. They might pay with their lives, but Orphan has already had to back up, and because of that, Banana Guitar was just left in the air to get picked off. Losing
your Echo at the beginning of the fight is not great. Unfortunately, Raiden going down there as well means that they kind of balanced that out. They're splitting here. It's just probably a clever idea to try and backline, as Echo is going to try and do. Nebula wants the kills, but has to be careful about that health bar. Coney to pick up Naya, which means the supports fall, and that's going to give them a good chance to push on here if they can group and get the damage down that they need to. they're being really, really clinical about this. You see Coney has fallen, so the rest of the team need to join. Raiden's on and back in the fight, which allows him to pick up a healer. Nebula falls, but it doesn't matter. The damage from the tanks is too good. Casper does manage to find their mirror, but Raiden doesn't care, hitting them with the electricity, and that is a quick first point take here.
That is a very calculated first point taken. Like you said, Stranger, they waited. They were really patient, Battalion. They didn't just go, oh, quick, we got to rush this fight, maybe die, maybe see if we can get a few picks. No, they knew that they were safe purely because, you know, both main tanks fell there, or at least one of them was extremely hurt and had to back right out. So I think that was really well played, especially that anti-nade from Fairy. The nanos come out, but not like Jaster's High Noon.
Oh, Jaster with the double. This guy's not letting up right now. Huge amount of damage, and Naya's just getting bullied in the corner. They're not going to have a chance. I love this kind of aggression so far up. Mag finds the pick, but it doesn't matter because the team's all on them. And this just means Fairy can just walk this card up while they hold all the way up here.
Yeah, they certainly can. They did have to use a couple of ultimates there, but with Connie's grab and Fairy still holding on to that nano, of course, there's going to be a lot of strong offensive positioning here. You can see how far Connie is holding up, trying to just get a little bit of damage before he pops that grab.
Yeah, look, Connie's really playing that line. Look, when you only have 1v1, you're all right. This is looking strong. High ground being pushed here now. The nano comes out onto Orelson. They get themselves on this car, and they're putting a lot of damage up, but the healing's strong. They got to be very careful with that split. There's the clone. High Noon from Mag on the high ground as well, but be careful of that. They hold it and don't get to use it. That's unfortunate, missing out on that one. Jaster's not going to be allowed to get away with their life, so this is a great take onto the car here. Coney needs to die, really, to not get too trickled out. It's a lot of time burnt there.
Yeah, it's a lot of time burnt. I really think that Daemon played that extremely well there. They got Raiden by the collar, and especially because nothing could... Even the nano didn't really do much. It sort of just delayed the inevitable there, Stranger. And with Connie down on the low ground, looking for them to come low ground, then when the entire team came high ground, which I think was a really good strategy there, especially dodging the likes of Connie, that when the grab came out, you know, it was just an echoed Winston.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a good pick there from Echo. They traded though. Nebula with the double burst on both supports, so the healing is just reduced to nothingness. Great grab, kind of a weird one up on the roof there. Nebula clones the monkey to keep the aggression, but look, the rest of their team has fallen to pieces here. So they're going to just try and find that pick where they can. They do manage to get it. Good stuff, and they get the ult out of it as well, which just gives them the health to keep going. They're not done yet.
There's certainly not. Nebula will have to back up there, but tried to make the most of it. Raiden, very early pick coming into this next fight. You can see the aggression immediately coming out.
Yeah, he follows up with the ult as well to keep it going. Now let's see if they can get the Mercy, who's now been put out in a random spot. Banana coming in to burst back Nebula, returning that favor from earlier on. High Noon from behind the car picks up two before getting exploded to pieces by Banana. It was enough though. They've got it. They clean it up, and that's point number 2 found.
Point number 2 found in 3 minutes and 55 seconds on the board, Stranger. These High Noons have been quite incredible to watch, haven't they? Every single time the McCree pops, it's usually like, oh, it's just for spacing, oh, boring, yawn. But these guys, they might get a 5, they might pull out a 5K, but even the 2Ks have been massive turnaround of fights. Right now, it's just who Zarya has got the better grab also.
Oh, for sure. Here's Mag with the High Noon. The clone on. See, look, again, still connects with at least the one. That's unfortunate there for Banana not actually getting a lot of value out of the cloned Reinhardt, which you can see is costing them actually a lot. That great anti-nade here onto the backline, which pushes them further and further back. Raiden doesn't care. W is the only key on the keyboard. Fairy walks this card on up while the rest of the team just swing that hammer away. And this is definitely going to be close. No, the pin stops them. And that's great from Battalion.
Great job, Battalion. There was so much to talk about during that, 5 seconds I held the talking stick, but you could see the immediate switch from both main tanks, even the attackers, which was, I think, really well played by Raiden, to go back and go for that Reinhardt, who's so much stronger on that second point. Let's just watch this Genji blade that came out and won Daemon that third point there. That was beautifully played.
Yeah, for sure. They weren't actually looking very strong into that fight until that came out. So a good save by them in that one.
Yeah, good save indeed. Well done, Fairy. You played an exceptional game. Your anti-nades were on point, and you were also on point for like most of that attack. Let's be honest, your entire team just did the rest. The rest while you. I do some crocheting, you know, grandma. Being grandma. I'm sorry. Pap cancel, grandmas. Oh gosh. God. Anyway, I think that's really well played by Battalion. They can clearly play it, you know, not just the brawl, but quite a large range of their hero pool. And now we're going to everybody's favorite type of maps. You've got the assault maps. Especially Volskaya and Anubis, you know, just the best, man. Just the best. Oh gosh, like Volskaya would be really, really strong pick for Battalion because they know that they're clearly very good at holding an objective. An objective like Volskaya first point, even second point, is so good for that. Yeah, you come to me and then I beat you up. You know, I've got a hammer with your name on it. You say, yep, that's you. I think Battalion looking really strong right now. Demon Index they definitely have showed up tonight. They're doing exceptionally well, especially with that such small time bank to get it as far as they'd have. But yeah, I think here Anubis perhaps show us a little bit more of that poke that we saw was really strong on Sanctum and did start catching Battalion off guard. I think if you keep that up with perhaps like a Junkrat, get like a Reaper on board, and then when they do fall on top of you, you've got that burst damage, especially with that Junkrat to come on top and, you know, just blast away everybody. I mean, that's obviously completely up to Daemon, but they have picked Temple of Anubis. I'm a prophet and I didn't even know.
Every time, dude.
Every time. But yeah, I think this is a correct pick for Daemon. Just because Volskaya, you can just go absolutely ham with, you know, you could just sim directly over the top of the defenders on Volskaya, where it's a little bit harder on Anubis. There's a lot more comps you can kind of play, despite it being Temple of Draw Anubis. Please just go into 2 rounds. We don't need 7.
Look, I think I totally agree with you. You cannot let Battalion set up how they want to. They are way too calculated from what we've seen. And when they get everything set the way they want it, that's when they're just in their like prime. So like you say, get in there, get amongst them, disrupt them a bit, and don't let them get set how they want to, and you'll be looking pretty good for that.
Yeah, that they will be. This is going to be a really bizarre defense. I know you can't see it quite right now, but Raiden is actually pulling out all the stops and going Winston on defense, which you don't see very often. So we probably expect, the high ground, quite a bit of poke coming in from both sides before Raiden even jumps in to try and sweep up the rest of the kills. Yeah, now you can see Baby is on obviously the Mercy to damage boost Jasta. And yeah, on the other side though, this attack is very bizarre, Stranger. You can see the double shield and the May with the loose as well to try and get onto point, perhaps? I don't know. What are they thinking?
Yeah, I guess move to that objective super fast, get the shields down, and then hold from there. I mean, they're using the environment already to get themselves into a better spot. Raiden's kind of setting themselves in a good position too to get in there and apply some damage, gets the shield down in a great position, but the Maywall puts them in a rough spot. They have got the jump to get out of there. Good stun there, and Coney will set them down as Lucio steals the kill. Raiden now has a lot to hold off on their own. Managing to get a lot off with that electricity as well. Mag gets the picks though onto Jasta, which means they've won that DPS range fight, and it means they're going to be able to push them slowly back onto this point. This is a great aggression here. Coney falls again, unfortunately, and Raiden just opts to say, I don't quite want to be on the point just yet. That health not holding him together, and it just leaves Feria in the high ground. They're doing what they can, but it looks like a poor stall from them in the end, and that's a quick take here.
It was a really quick take. I'm surprised Raiden's sticking on that monkey. You can see Banana Katana. Oh, Connie back on the ball, just about a little bit of time, but unfortunately just kind of fed that 1,000 berry, 1,000 HP directly to the team. Did get about maybe 5 seconds. Raiden, he's a bit ballsy, still staking on to Winston, especially against the likes of, Banana Guitar and Mag that got flashed and frozen the first fight. How's he going to approach this differently? Well, yet to find out. He's not, and he's gonna fall pretty much immediately.
Oh, the shatter across the lane, and it connects with 3, which is huge. High noon to follow from Mag. They just execute so cleanly. This is a classic Anubis play. Straight on the second point. The wall comes up. Raiden just barely sneaks over the top of it. The tanks are going to get on, just trickling on in time. Those spawn advantage very strong to begin with, but still they're getting picked off way too quickly. Wrecking Ball in to just push them away. Fairy has to basically hold it together for the team, but the picks are found. Wow. And there's round 1 so fast.
That was so fast, Daemon. That was really, really fast. Unfortunately, Raiden, that pick on the Winston just did not produce any kind of veggies and fruits because they all went rotten and pear-shaped, and because of that, the team kind of just fell. You needed probably that Reinhardt, that more stability on the point, because it was a little bit more loose and casual. It just got frozen, shot down immediately. Didn't even get time to press Q there. So they took extreme advantage over their advantage. And Daemon just pushed in. They had the Mei. They had an incredible amplification matrix as well, especially with the Mag, that high noon again. It just cannot get any less than 2 with those ultimates right now. And they're looking really, really strong. Battalion, though, they still want to do the dive, the double bubble, but this time they're going to run it a little bit differently. They've got Nebula and Baby for of course the pharmacy, but they have to look out for Mag. The damage boosted as well, so he's gonna have to just play quite a lot in cover until the fight is properly broken through, but there's a lot of poke to deal with.
Yeah, look, I'm actually really happy that Daemon's been doing well in this and getting themselves back into this fight. Obviously they've got a lot to hang it on this fight, so I hope that they can make it happen. But a good mix up on characters here as well. Banana's on that junk for that defensive power, which will definitely make a big difference in how they play here. Quick again, Battalion being very clinical about their push. They want to make sure that they don't give away too much. Tracer even retreating there to give them a chance to push in as a team. Banana still sneaks them out though. That's unfortunate for them. Good dive in here, but a lot of defensive capability to hold together. They managed to get back the Tracer, but they're just losing a lot of characters here. Fairy falls, the healing just kind of crumpled on that push. They're just kind of split now as well.
Yeah, they're kind of split, and they just got poked out completely there. You see Banana getting some pretty early damage in. Raiden forced to use Bubble extremely early, and that will not help whatsoever. Mag getting taken down. Nebula, though, even Stevens does get rezzed up too.
Look, they bring Mag back in. As comes Connie as well, so the res is basically trying to balance this fight out once again. Casper just poking away where they could, and Mag's really pumping out those shots with the Mercy there. Trying to build out that ult as well, already at 80%. Again, Battalion, they know they're in that Nebula down. They're being careful about their push. There's the bubble onto Raiden as they jump to the higher ground to get them off. And that's going to let them have a little bit more power onto the point. Good kill onto Mercy as well to reduce the healing. So look, Battalion know they're going to capitalize on a good anti-nade onto the objective. Puts huge pressure on the tank line, who somehow still lived through all that. God, the healing is insane. Nebula finding the one pick onto Mag to get rid of some of that damage, but it doesn't matter. All that ult charge burnt up there on the Bob as they come on out the point. They earned that earlier on with all the poke they had. Coney finds the kill on Banana, but still the hold is strong and they're not going to quite get anything out of it so far.
No, they aren't. There is a couple of ults as well. Banana Guitar, look out for it. Never mind that. Nebula's come out with quite a barrage. Banana Guitar is probably looking for that tire though, so look out for that one. But Nebula on top of them, just pounding down the damage, raining the rockets from above. And I think it's best for Banana to run away with that explosive tire of his and just wait for that next point. But they have held point A for longer, so they will have less time, Battalion, to try and take the point. And that's a nice little pick, but it will get a very quick, almost a res, I suppose, at this point. And already they are pushing up. Connie has got the grabs, to look out for that. The grabs have been absolutely spectacular, but lots of ults for Daemon as well. Both tank ults, especially the Flux, will be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, they're going to have to make sure they use those ults properly. Great damage out here, heading around the corner as well. But it comes the sick. It actually ends up getting cancelled out there, was it? Not connecting as they wanted, or they just didn't gather anyone up in it. But still, it zoned well, I guess, at least. They get the picks they want to push them back. Fairy is going to escape, but Baby wasn't as lucky.
Baby wasn't as lucky. That Flux did actually connect onto Connie there. That's why they lifted up so high. But because of that, you know, the Stagee, despite being inside that grab, still was able to take out Connie. There is a bit of a switch, though. You can see now both tanks have got that Orion Tsar composition. I mean, both of them are even Stevens with ultimate wise. It's just really good for Daemon. You don't want to be any less than what Battalion have got right now. And they're coming in, actually, Battalion, with 0 ultimates. The closest is Fairy. This is going to be huge for Banana Guitar.
Yeah, Banana uses this right here. They're all clumped. This could be a big pick. They've got to be careful not to leave it too late. There it is. As they move on in, over the top, they see the Immortality Field over the wall, and it runs around the corner beautifully to pick up 2. Such good timing on that. Made sure to burn a little bit before Jester gets taken out in the back. 1 ult to hold off the fight. Huge use.
Yeah, that was Battalion's fight to lose, let's be honest. Yeah. They had absolutely no ultimates. They still don't. Again, they're 50% absolute max here, but we've got Mag. Mag has got the high noon, and they've been absolutely monstrous right now. And of course, Artoria has got the, what is it? The rally. That's it. That's the one. The Brig 1.0 ultimate and a half here. They will try, though. Raiden's already on point, smashing away.
Here we go, Mag is going to put the ult in the back. The shadow falls, but it only gets Baby. And in the end, Raiden actually gets picked up. So it's a great use still. None of the matter. They are going to get a couple of picks there as well. The pin lands nicely onto Coney. Fairy falls. And that's just a great hold once again, only having to use a few ults as well.
Yeah, 2 minutes left on the clock as well here, Stranger. This is the fight that you want to go a little bit longer if you're Battalion, because this is where the ultimates start trickling in. Fairy, Amplification Matrix, try to keep their team alive a little bit more. You know, Raiden, he's either feeding his brains out or something else is going on here. He's got blood in his eyes and he just wants those kills, but unfortunately, as soon as he gets any deeper, you know, just gets picked off by the enormous amount of damage coming from Mag and Banana.
Yeah, very early rally use here. I mean, if Battalion's smart, they might just want to wait a bit, and that's exactly what it looks like they're doing. They're just killing some time, chilling in the room around the corner. Like you say, they've got some ults coming online as well, so they want to burn as much as they can through this corridor. A little bit backwards there. Down comes the Shadow, but unfortunately blocked out. Reverse Shadow also blocked. Oh, their Mortality Fields are just there. The shields are in place. Raiden, unfortunately, does go down first before everyone else. Through all the ults, the kills just came out normally in the end. And it's just a good bit of damage coming out from Daemon here. The hold is strong. 50 seconds left. And a couple of ults still in hand, though, for Battalion. They didn't use everything there.
They did not use everything. Nebula has got the Death Blossom. Baby as well will be looking for that sound barrier, but that's about it. The problem they've got to face, and I'm sure it's very, very obvious, is both DPS ults, which can instantly shut down. I mean, all you need is a Junkrat tie to take 2 as an attacking team, and it's all over here. Baby will have to use that sound barrier to see if they can negate Banana, but that will be about it. After the massive explosion that will fall upon them, they've just left with their HP, and that is it. The Immortality of Field will have to be held for as long as possible by Fairy for the attackers that even think about winning.
Grab here into the Reaper roll, but the Tire's the one to find Jester. Keeps a lot of damage off the objective. They're finding the kills they need. Good shadow across the lane there. They're slowly capping it here. Mag has to get on just to try and stall it in the overtime. Are they going to do this at the last few seconds? They've managed to pull it out. Oh, wow, they really left it to the last moment.
They did. And look, we can all congratulate Battalion. They did take it, but now you have to hold point A, first hit, for almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's
so. Daemon just need a single win condition, something like a Genji Ana, and you've basically got it. You've already seen Banana and Ana, Banana and Naya, Banana and Naya. They've been doing exceptionally well together. So look out for possibly all they need is that win condition. But for the defense, I think it is smarter to not play, the Winston. It's not been really working of any favors for poor Raiden. They will be opting for the cancer strat.
Let's go.
Let's go. Jasta with the Bastion. Nebula Kree, of course. They've got Baby for the Discords, but, just to burn down targets even more. Maybe the Mercy would have been slightly better just to have a couple of reses, especially after how long they have to hold it for. But I love my Zen, so I can't throw too much shade. Here, they're just, when I say here, neither here nor there, Daemon will be running the exact same comp. They're just looking to wall. They're just looking for that push. And yeah, all they need is that singular tick, Stranger. How are they going to go about it? With Jasta will be raining as many shots as possible.
Yeah, like you say, I guess they don't bring the Mercy because they figure if they have the res, they probably already lost the game at that point. So may as well go with the damage from the extra, from the Discord and from the extra orbs. But like you say, this is going to be a hard hold. Already a bit of damage coming up. They make sure that the old Bastion has to reset, but even this is going to be difficult. Speed boost in, the wall blocks off the line of sight, but Bastion can just tear straight through that. Great rock puts heaps of pressure on Reinhardt, but here they are swinging in behind them. Daemon are in a good position. Unfortunately, they lose Casper, but the freeze on Bastion gives them a few seconds. Immortality field positioned exceptionally well by Naya here. Gives them a few more seconds of push. But look, that's a great hold here. In the end, they managed to get the picks they want.
The first minute has been survived.
It really is like that.
First to five. Let's go.
Oh, man,
yeah, unfortunately though, Baby couldn't really land us that many shots, and that's what you need. You need the Transcendence, but Fairy does have the Amplification Matrix, will be able to place it in front of Jasta, who's also got tank configuration. So look out for a lot of damage to come out here. Although, having said that, Stranger, Orslan does have Shatter, and that if they can get around these shields, it could be absolutely monstrous.
Yeah, this Noon's gonna have to be big. They're booped around the corner to block it out, and it doesn't land. Good Sigma ult gets them in the high grounds, and they go down quickly from it. Oh man, tanks used as well in the end to get a couple picks. They found the damage they want, but they did have to commit quite a bit to that.
Yeah, they actually did have to shut that down as much as possible, but they have got both of those, damage boosting ultimates, the likes of Bongo and Matrix, that will possibly come out. Baby will have Transcendence as well to counter some of the ultimates that will come in. Banana's really only just switched off the Mei onto the Junkrat, already really close to Tyre. And look, as good as Transcendence is, it cannot heal the likes of a Tyre coming right at your team's face.
That's true. Look, same strat again, off from the side. Sigma absorbing a lot of those grenades from Junk, and look, Bastion loves this. Just has to look in the single location and press mouse 1. I mean, how much easier can you make it? Both 4K monitors come up, the beat drops to give the team the health they need to move on up. And the High Noon across the monitor as well. They get booped up, but still they survive. Was it the Immortality field that just kept them going from Fairy? Didn't quite catch that, sorry, but it doesn't matter. The damage is there. They've moved themselves to this objective. They said, look, we'll just take the fight to the point, force them to go on in. Tank gets used up from the Bastion, didn't find the kills, but the Tyre finds everything they need to. Wow. Good play from Daemon there to get themselves back in this.
Really good play. Now, possibly looking for the reverse sweep, Daemon will be after that exceptional plays there on Anubis here. You can see Orslan as he just pushes up with the massive daddy. That was huge. And of course, Mag gets that double in that play of the game. been doing it really, really well thus far there. Look, they did all right, Battalion, after a shocking defense for their first round. They did hold it for admittedly 3 minutes, which is not too bad. It really isn't, but it was a matter of time with the amount of ults, especially how high damage those ultimates were, or just insta-kill like the Kree. There was always going to be that level of scared, worry, been really, really scared of just being blown to, horizon and back there. But it is now Battalion's pick, Junkertown or Gibraltar. And if we're as hungry as Raiden thinks he is, will he go Gibraltar just so he can dive a little bit more? Or will they opt for Junkertown, which can actually play a little bit more into Daemon Index's hands, possibly of getting that poke? Or will we see Battalion bring out the cancer again, Stranger?
Oh. Look, I don't think that they'll be desperate enough to pull that one again. That was extreme circumstances, and sometimes that requires extreme compositions. So, we don't see that anymore. It worked really well for them for a long time, I'll admit. Like, I think really it came down to them moving around where Battalion really wanted them to be. So in the end, it meant that Battalion weren't set up as they wanted. Like we were saying earlier, once you disrupt their setup, then they kind of fell apart. I think they spread out a little bit to try and avoid some damage, and that cost them lines of sight and this kind of thing as well. So that put them on the back foot, and then they were in.
Watchpoint Gibraltar it is indeed. So Raiden will want to be playing that Winston here. Unfortunately, did not quite really work out there. And I think that's why ultimately, Battalion never really had a foothold in Anubis, is because of how badly their defense wasn't at first. If they played, even if they played Cancer from day zero, it could have gone better than what happened. I mean, you saw just how quickly they had, just under 5 minutes, Daemon. So it was just a matter of time before Daemon took that one, and it was really well played by all of them. And now the mental tennis ball has now dropped in Daemon's court, and it's their time to hit back hard right at Battalion's no sacks and make them bleed.
Oh my goodness.
I have no idea yet. So now we see the dive defense. Banana and Naya are on that, the Genji and on the Ana, looking, of course, for the win condition, the automatic win condition. And this is a really interesting attack, though. We've got the Hog Zaru. We haven't actually seen this Stranger for quite some time since the Hog. We did get it buffed about, 4 months ago, you'd say? I'm probably wrong. It's probably like 6 months, and everyone's correcting me in chat right now. But yeah, that was when Hog Zaru was absolutely huge. Played in the Overwatch League as well, because he was just so broken at that time.
Yeah, he was pretty cracked, I won't lie. But in the end, look, Raiden actually switching back to that monkey like you thought they should actually play. Gets themselves into that high ground to help disrupt. Maybe they were just looking for that hook, I guess, at the early start. They could pick someone out. Luckily, Banana goes down there. So this is looking like a strong push for them. There's the picks they want. Both tanks falling. Greg's trying to walk back. Man gets stunned, and that's them gone with a good headshot. That's a great cleanup.
That was an insane cleanup. The reason why they were able to burn down the tanks so fast is Fairy's beautiful anti-nade onto both tanks. Unfortunately, D.Va just could not DM that massive bio-nade away. And right now, you're just going to have to... Point A is already capped, Stranger, and this is huge because a lot of teams can be really stuck here. Banana, though, taking out Raiden, that will be a little bit of a showstopper for Battalion, and Daemon Index will be able to sort of get themselves together, pick themselves up off the asphalt that they've found themselves on, and see if you can just capitalize. Although they're still aggressing, Stranger, they're still going forward. Battalion don't want to give this up.
Yeah, they're loving this momentum. They're actually going to commit an ult to it even. High Noon from Mag in the back to try to put the pressure back on. They find one tank. There's Nebula as well with a good headshot. The pressure has to be maintained, though. So Raiden says not having any more of it. Coming out with the ult to pick up Mag and shut them down out of the fight. They res that Echo back into the battle too, which is a lot of damage brought into the fight. Casper finds a good one, taking Raiden out up to their aggression at that front line which means that the DPS have to make sure that they shut this hog down right here. So much damage for Jester to deal with. The hook is the thing to find the pick. Clone from Nebula, but look at the damage output, man. Great anti-nade from Naya to get their health in a rough position. The hog shut down with the ult to sleep on them. So much CC coming out. It's hard to do anything here, but Coney made sure that they get the damage off. The blade to be committed to this fight as well. Takes out Fairy in the back. This is the damage they need to just stop this unbelievable push. Raiden's not going to have any luck getting away with that. They finally put the brakes on the car.
Oh, that was great plays by Connie. Beautiful bubbles trying to keep Nebula alive during that echo. Did actually pick up Casper, but yeah, unfortunately for Battalion, Fairy and Nebula had other... Sorry, not Fairy. Naya and Banana Guitar had other ideas, and they managed to flip it back despite everything that was against them. And I think that was the right decision in the end, especially because it was quite a nail biter with the aggression coming out. Raiden already back in, falls extremely low quite fast. Not as slow as those guys, though.
Coney getting two there. Orelson returning the favor. High Noon from behind. Doesn't get much. Neither of them connect. That might be the first time tonight where two Noons have just had no effect. Even though Jester gets the flashbang on, Max still wins the battle. That's massive. There's the ult coming out to bring them into the sky. Fairy falls. It nano boosts onto Baby to keep them alive, but it doesn't matter. They fall anyway. Good hold again.
I think that was an accidental nano. Either it was a flip or they were trying to hit Connie to keep them alive. They were pretty high charged there, especially with the grab, maybe bringing things back. Fortunately, that was never going to work. Fairy, with the massive flux that came out, catching 3 members was huge. And here you can see now that they're trying to come back, Battalion, but they've solidified themselves on this defense right now, Stranger. And look out for Banana Guitar, has already almost got another blade.
Yeah, they're pulling it together quickly. Brig pulling out the old ult there as well to give everyone the armor they need to keep this defense strong. Cloning the Sigma gives them a lot of shielding here for the aggressive push. Battalion need to make sure they capitalize on that. And even though there's all this protection on the point, Max still finds a way to break through and find the kill onto Raiden. Blade into the back, shuts down Baby. A lot of time burnt to find that single kill, but it's good since the rest of the team are capitalizing well on the space that it makes, and they've held them again here.
They have, and that blade got a little bit of value there. Naya desperately trying to find their mate, Banana Guitar, but they're already trying to get those kills. Does get punished brutally by Jester, but in the end, the team still came out on top, and Daemon now with only a minute 20 seconds left to hold this defense. Battalion are looking for a little bit of an upwards battle, especially how many ultimates they used last fight, but Fairy has got Nano, and that's a huge pick.
Oh, the DPS keep the magic coming. They find the old support line there as well to take out Brig, which means another shield source gone as well. So look, the spacing's good here. The rotation back from Daemon, High Noon's in the high ground to keep the pressure on them. Nebula capitalizing on the space given from it. Another High Noon burnt without any value other than just spacing them away, which actually in this case really, really strong for them as they can just now roll this card up and there's no one going to be close enough to stop it.
Yeah, that was finally. That was a finally they took that, because they did not have long. Only 2 minutes left by the time the cart even touches, and even if it does touch, it will be overtime. But Raiden still pushing up, does get slept immediately, woken up, and just bullying the rest of Daemon right now. Oh my goodness, not even allowing them out of spawn right now, Stranger. And I think this is definitely the play, because they want to make as much ground as possible. Banana Guitar as well to fall. This is not helpful, as Fairy's very calmly sitting on cart here.
They're just going to get to walk this up. Look at so much aggression there. The bubbles can just block mostly. The stun shuts down Sigma's ult. Even the Noon is blocked out. Oh, the jump on from Raiden. That was such quick reactions. Jester as well says, this is how you do the Noon. Drops the beat onto Altar there. And that just means They've got full control here. Mag sneaks through with the trace of the blade in desperation, actually finding a lot of kills there, Banana. Will they be able to shut the whole thing down in the last minute? They're still going to have time to get back, surely.
No, they definitely will. That was a minute. I almost ate my words about that whole overtime business. But that was so clutch from Banana to come out. Naya had to make a pretty immediate switch onto Moira to try and just get out of spawn that Raiden and Connie were making sure they couldn't move. They did burn a lot of ultimates, and so they should have. It was a very unlucky retake if you were Battalion here. But now you've got 30 seconds remaining. Not many ultimates on board. You're going to hope Raiden gets that monkey, able to stall cart a little bit longer.
Yeah, Casper, the only one with an ult, uses it to shut down one. Good couple of picks here. Raiden alone on the cart. A lot of pressure to deal with. And in the meantime, the rest of their team falling to pieces. They have the ult with all the health, but all they can do is stall, and there's not really a lot of time there. They will be able to clip this overtime into place, still going for that moment longer to get the bubble down. A good boop here on Coney, who's now having to play ball to make it into the point. Sigma ult drops down heavy, shutting Coney out of it. No movement allowed. Nebula goes on heavy as well. Good damage, but the blade from Banana, the damage from Banana there is just too strong. The rest of the team stealing their kills, and that will be them stopping it just short of the third point.
They got it pretty far. Watch point Gibraltar, that very, very last point, is quite hard to take. So they do have, they have a win condition at the very least. They didn't get stopped second point, which is, it feels like it's either like a roll or they do what Daemon did to Battalion and just hold it for like 4 minutes and not let anything happen, which is, definitely what Daemon needed after a shocking first point. The poor guys lost it within 40 seconds to a minute there. So now for Daemon, both of these teams have a win condition, but Daemon, the ball is in their court a little bit more because of, not just, of course, the mental game, but also how strong the team is looking and how strong the attack might be looking as well if they do end up Mag on the Bastion. Speaking of Mag, by the way, Stranger, they went Tracer and he popped off. Got 3 kills in the back line pretty much immediately there, which turned the fight around in an instant. That was one of the overtime pushes that happened. Build up a pulse bomb. Unfortunately, didn't get the stick, but, because of that shut down Battalion. So Mag is, cracked at the moment. Raiden, the defensive monkey's come out again. Let's see if he can do any better and redeem himself from Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, that's true. Bit of damage to this high ground. I like this early aggression up from this little corridor here. They are going to allow them to move underneath them, though, so they need to be smart about how they reposition since the cart is actually just zooming along. Raiden finds a good spot to try and split the team in half. They've done well here. Can they find the pick? There it is, Nebula with a sneaky headshot, but Raiden gets traded out the Ana to get the final bit of damage needed to get the kill there. Nebula now amongst the team. The res coming out for both of the tank lines to reset this fight into a more neutral position here. Great pressure again from Raiden, in with the shield, the bubble there to keep them going. That electricity just pumping through. There's the kills from the DPS as well to push them back. They trade it out though. Losing a tank here is very problematic. And Battalion have to be really careful about how they go into this next fight.
Yeah, indeed. They've got the positional advantage, yes, but without the Zarya bubbles, Raiden can't push in nearly as much as I'm sure he'd like to. And now they kind of just have to sit and wait. It really has been a Zarya fight during this whole series, and I'm all for it right now as so much damage came on to Atora and ended up falling.
Oh, big nade to come out there from Atora before they die to get the rest of the team going. But the damage is really solid. A lot of ults coming into the hands as well of Battalion here to keep this defense strong. And that was a bit of a weak push in the end.
It really was. It kind of it started out really strong and then it sort of just died out, and quite quickly too. I don't think that Flux got any value either. Raiden in the back line just destroying Casper, taking him out of the fight completely. Is that another environmental kill? It is. Raiden is on a bit of a raid. right now. That is a double kill for them. And now it's 2 minutes on the clock, and the defense has been a lot better than the Anubis. Raiden's doing exceptionally well. Connie as well. Beautiful little bubbles, and he now has grab for the next fight. Although Banana Guitar and Artoria will have that classic combo come out probably this fight, and that will really help with Jasta falling there.
There it is, that exact blade you were just talking about, straight on to Fairy, instantly taking them out of the fight. Jas is brought back in, but so is Orelson. Bob coming into the battle as well, but a little bit of an unorthodox position, was it? Kind of around the corner, getting booped away. It is stopping the cart, though, which is great. Bit of stall on the objective, but they're going to need every second they can get for this final hold here.
Yeah, they will. Connie and Casper both have their grabs, so it's which grab can get more value here. Mag still has the bob of their own, so Demon Index looking a little bit stronger here.
Another bob into the back corner. The grab, though, is good and allows that line of sight. They find the pick. Nebula with a good one to Casper to get rid of those grabs out of the fight. Well, they're both used now, I guess. But, yeah, both of the Zarya's gone means no bubbles for anybody. The cart will just keep going here. They thought they had it for a second, but it ended up slipping from their grasp. Now Nebula's going to try and not get trickled.
I think they will just get out with their lives there. Both, while I was laughing, it was because both Zaryas grabbed each other. And it was just which Zarya could press one button harder. Raiden is very, very deep. I don't think they'll get too much value here. We'll have to go out only just surviving with that 200 HP there. And Mag, that's a big pick here, Stranger. This is where you want to push.
Yeah, that's a big win. The res does bring Mag back into that fight, but it's good because Orelson capitalized on that little bit of space given. Takes out Baby to get rid of some of the healing. Casper shuts Raiden down. Down goes Jasta and Fairy as well. So the damage is just pumping out here for Demon. They're looking to just keep this car rolling. No breaks in sight.
Yeah, what did I say? It's either an absolute roll, second point, or you do what Demon did. Look at that. The cut is already done. Goodbye. And now, now it's just down for Demon. How well can they attack? How quickly can they get to their win condition here? They're doing really, really well. Look how many ults everybody the Demon has in their ult bank. If they can use it wisely, there's no reason they can't just keep staggering like they are.
Wow.
Battalion, this is a shocker for you. You do not want this. You want to be forcing ults, right then and there, not when it's the worst time for you and they're on top of you, which they are. Raiden has gone into the Reinhardt possibly just to try and swing, but here comes the blade.
Oh, again, this nano blade will have a lot of impact. Immortality Field did not last but a second, which means Banana just gets like sliced through the whole lot, ends up getting 2 out of it. That is a great boot. Goodbye to the Zarya. They just clear the field here completely. Lucio from Baby just sneakily hiding behind the bed just to stop it at the point the ball rolls on. Raiden's had to go into that mode to try and stall as they can. Another bob onto the objective, boot around the back corner. That's really quite convenient for them to get rid of that bob out of that line of sight. There's the picks from Banana, that classic stuff. They just keep putting the damage out. You got to get rid of them. Raiden somehow still alive. Wrecking Ball has way too much HP. Please nerf. Baby gets Fairy, getting that Mortality Field on there as well to just give a little bit more time as well. Nebula with the stall, the bubble and Raise Form at the same time. Not so efficient of the use. Another good grab here from Coney, but it doesn't matter. They fall. There's the picks to be found. Even with the grab, they can't get the damage they need. This trickle was just not effective enough. Demon bringing it up 2-2.
This could be the reverse sweep.
Yeah.
Ilios it is. Yeah, the defense with the dive defense is working a lot more in Demon's favor here. Especially there was so many staggers, like I pointed out earlier, that really, oh my gosh, what a deflag. That's how everybody died. There we go.
Yeah.
They got blades so fast after that as well. That was enormous. Anyway, like I was saying there, that because of the trickles, the staggers, there was no real defense. And you could even argue there was no real defense second point either, Stranger. I mean, they got to third point, if I remember correctly, with like 3.5 minutes. They didn't even need like 1.5 there to take that in the end. They had the ults, they executed them beautifully as well. And it was just a matter of time. They had the supports to keep, you know, everybody alive, the bubbles, no matter what. Oh my goodness, what the battalion managed to try and throw at them. Yeah, Daemon were right there to just basically say no. You know, Connie's grab came out. Connie didn't get anything. Connie died. So, you know, this is it now. Ilios can play to a lot of different play styles, but Winston, we're seeing a lot of it, so I wouldn't be surprised if that will be the most favored matchup. Perhaps on Well, we might see a little bit more poke. I've seen a bit of Hog come out from Raiden, maybe get the classic Hog pull combo with Orisa Hog. It is doubtful though, because of how well they seem to be diving together, Daemon. So this is it. It's come down to Ruins is our first map, and on Ruins, it's either brawl, like fast brawl, like we saw Battalion run on Sanctum. You know how fast they were with the McCree and the main, and of course you got Lucio Bap as well as you know, Reinhardt Zarya. Or you play Winston and you try and just dive in with your bubbles. It seems to me like I was correct. And we will get Daemon running that exact comp that I just said, although Mag might be switching over to that Reaver instead. Although Jasta, looking for a little bit more of that long-range hit scan, looking to poke, and especially get the likes of, you know, Nye would be the biggest pick that Money can buy, but Mag as well been popping off right now. If you can hit that guy's head, there's no reason you can't turn the fight around. And yeah, they're coming out with both very heavy brawls here. It's just a matter of how will they pass the point and how will they meet each other.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the shoulders of that Widow, like you're saying. That can really flip a fight. Good kill there from Baby as well. This is the damage you want to see early in. Just completely rolling half the team away. The poke damage is here. In comes from the back line. The bubble to cover as well. Raiden making sure that they're being very aggressive where they can. And that's just going to net them this point super quick.
That was super fast. Oh my gosh. Blink and you missed that fight, Raiden. Look how much charge he got from just swinging away. Connie's bubbles keeping the man alive. And I think Jasta, just because they were Widow as well, you have to be really careful. Raiden's just in. Got walled off, but unfortunately just not quite enough. And Baby picking at the counterpart, won the Echo Jewel. And now this is really, really good for Raiden. Just be able to push up, gain even more ultimates. Both of them have shattered though. Or both Reinhardts push up here. This is huge.
Oh, Raiden does do a lot, but ends up getting walled, which puts a lot of pressure on them. The reverse shatter to come on, and that ends up finding the more kills in the end. That May wall really turning the tide of that whole battle. Man, that was a big commit from Raiden to just get so aggressive there, and they finally were getting punished for it.
Finally, that May wall. Unfortunately, if you're Raiden, you did get to stop pressing W there because Banana Guitar, beautiful phrases, and of course the walls as well to stop the rest of the team. Healing Raiden, who's just been a monster on his Reinhardt, finally unlocking his true potential, but unfortunately his potential was halted by the devil herself, May. But there is a couple of ultimates coming out. Both support ults for Battalion are out right now, so they will be looking. Mag, though, might be a huge high noon.
Oh, there's just so much chaos. Double ult committed. Nebulous one comes out on top, though. Finding the two. The grab actually being the thing to toss Lucio off the map. What?
Okay.
Okay, we'll take that. Okay. Lucio of all the characters as well. Oh, yes, man.
Lucio.
Somehow through the chaos, Nebula just snuck that.
So, yeah, I think if you were Daemon, you're looking for a wall into Blizzard here. Both the tank ults are used on either side. Raiden, never mind. Banana, go back to spawn with you. That is an instant death and an instant fallback for Daemon, but they don't have much time. Look, 70% left. This is basically last fight, and this was huge again. Although it does get charged.
Man, they keep getting good ults, but then being punished instantly after. Raiden's having a rough time. Beat there actually to engage the team with, ends up being burnt completely before they're able to finish off the last few of them who are just backing it up. May freeze here, just really find them some space. But man, they've really backed out of there. The convert finally happens.
Smart. Really smart. Sorry to cut over the top of you, stranger, but they lived, and because of that, Raiden got the pick, and now they're just going to push straight back up. That was a tactical retreat, and it was so tactical they were able to flip the point only after 5%, make that 7%, went over, and now the desperation ball has come out. It's been beautiful. Mag has gone to the Widow, trying to get a couple of last-second picks there, but the rest of Battalion there to meet the ball and instantly remove all of the health. Stranger, is not that long for this world as the overtime ticks down.
Yeah, they're desperately trickling on now. The Lucio doesn't last quite long enough. Naya has to make sure that Casper stays alive, but forgets they can't keep themselves alive in the end. The overtime will trickle here, and no amount of damage will save them from it.
No amount of damage, indeed. Their Raiden, they played an exceptional game on the Reinhardt. They did fall, but because of the rest of the team, that retreat was absolutely glorious. And, you know, the Reinhardt of Orsland, he tried to push up and tried to make the most of this retreat, but pushed out too far for the likes of Nia to even heal him. And because of that, Raiden came in basically from the charge swinging. Clobbered Orsland in the head and instant retake. And now we're on to Well. You can see a bit of an interesting switch up from Daemon as, double shield, whereas Raiden's still opting for, he wants to just brawl it out on point.
Yeah, as well, I'm going to be looking for those Lucio boops here. They can definitely turn the tide of a fight. If you can sneak one of those out, hopefully no Lucio's getting sent down there and falling to the demise. Another great MEOW to start us off. Coney capitalizes on it to get rid of Orelson quickly, reducing their shielding immensely. And
okay,
then
Raiden.
Yeah, what the heck, Raiden? Unfortunately gets traded in the mayhem as well. Good damage from the tank line, but Banana's going to make sure they get rid of their counterpart, making themselves get the point quickly. Not quite able to touch the point quick enough there from the Lucio to stop it, but they're finding the damage, which means they'll probably be able to reverse it anyway. Slowly trying to hold this. Raiden's just there to keep the ticker going for a little bit longer as Nebula literally just kiting around the point, gets taken with that little flashbang in the end, but so much time being bought here anyway with just few players alive, they might finally be able to convert back here.
Might finally. 22% is on the way there, but Raiden falling there to Casper and the rest of the team just poking him down, and that will be a huge reset for Daemon. That is a lot of percentage will be able to go up here basically for free, although both Reinhardts now have shatters. They'll be looking to down the rest of the team. It'll be interesting to see. It looks like they're going out on the right side of their point. That MEOW won't really get much though, but that will. Oh my goodness.
There you go. Baby gets taken out, but not before they get the boop off. Can't forget that one. That's exactly what I wanted. The stun! It stops Raiden from getting his ult off. That's huge. They managed to keep the barriers up for a moment, but in the end, Raiden says, well, you can stop my ult, but you can't stop my hammer.
Can't stop me swinging. I be swinging. They really do be swinging, though. Connie, that was a wonderful grab. Oh my goodness, I was about to say Connie does have grab as well, which will be great defense and great charge. So cutting down Raiden. That was like 500 IQ, but unfortunately the amplification matrix, lots of healing were pumped through that, and because of that, kept Raiden alive. Able to press W. Huge wall though.
Yeah, blocks off 3. The freeze comes in. Double immortality field, so nobody's dying until those fall, but they do fall quickly. There's Nebula, though, with the triple. Just asserting that dominance there, saying this is still our point.
This is still our point, and it is indeed. Both support ults, though, now for Daemon. When they come back, they'll be able to survive pretty much everything, though. Raiden already has another shatter, though. So if he can get the likes of, both support ults from Daemon, this could be a quick fight win, but it will require quite a bit of skill to get around those shields.
Look, Daemon win this fight or potentially lose the whole thing. They have to make sure they make this effective. In goes the beat to let them aggress. That's the shatter we want. Immortality field. Huge play there by Fairy to give them that healing there. In the last few seconds, they still, unfortunately, fall one by one here. Got to make sure they get a couple more picks before they go. Down goes Jester. Finally, they're really making sure they get close to that 99% in the end here.
That's basically perfect. 97%. That is really, really good. Now you just want those ultimates to come back online. Unfortunately, that shatter from Raiden, you know, for that didn't really get the value that they needed. But Daemon now on top of it. Mag has those high noons, knowing how big they can be, especially through Naya. Yeah, amplification matrix could be quite huge here. Both sides too.
Yeah, look, double 4K monitors. Nebula sneaks the first one out. High noon from Jester, finding a second there. But Orison just returns the favor. Says, here's a fire strike fully charged up. Great damage. Look at the assist account on that. They're really focusing down as a team, and that's going to let them keep this point. This is what they need to keep themselves in this map here. They really have to win this last fight.
They really do. Last fight territory, both sides now. Banana does have that blizzard, so as soon as the team moves forward, they do have that defensive capability against Connie. And yeah, no support ults either for Battalion, so this is going to be really, really hard. Whereas even on the other side, however, they don't have any either, so it's basically brawl v brawl. Who can get the better tank ult of, you know, the shatters and also the grab?
Yeah, look as well, the freeze could be absolutely massive on this. Let's see where it lands. Perfect cross up, the shatter drops. There's the damage output. In the end, they've absolutely said, this is our map. We're not out of this one yet. The boop to finish it off. I couldn't have done it better myself.
Gosh. Of course, it's going to the third round. A lot was riding on that fight too, because of I almost call it Raiden's team. Is this Raiden's team now? No, it's not. They're playing very well together, and Battalion, if they won that fight, they would have taken home the series. But of course, it's going back and forward, back and forward. Chat is loving it. It's such a good game. So tight. And yet now, Lighthouse Stranger, what kind of compositions we will see will be the Casper Orslin, who are playing that double shield quite beautifully. Connie, interestingly enough, switching it up a little bit, not really wanting to go the Tsar, a little bit more pokey. Jaster will be tellying them probably directly to point on that right side, or at the very least just directly out of spawn, and then switching. That will remain to be seen here. But yeah, here we go. Just like I predicted, Battalion just going straight to point as fast as possible. There's no boots to really be had.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They missed out on that opportunity, really. This is great point advantage as well. They've got that control. They're saying, this is our zone. You stay out of it. We've got lots of shielding coming up as well. That rock lands just as they could want it. Raiden's just really holding that front line well. And there, finally, you find the picks. Boot from Nebula onto Nebula will take them out. Jester with the double there. Both tanks falling. And now the advantage is definitely in Battalion's favor. Jester just cleaning up the rest of the team. They're a solo one-man army. May as well just be on their own.
It wasn't quite that. Raiden already had Shadow. Popped it, taking down 2 members, and because of that, Jaster just got to get that huge beam. So much damage come down, that was a 4K just there. There was huge players already got that wall as well. They're holding it quite far up here. That's what you want as a Sigma, to sort of hold far enough up to be able to poke. They will fall back to point pretty quickly with that sim though. They want those turrets as their advantage. There will be quite a lot of poke coming from the high ground.
Almost can feel like they know they need to get something first before they can push in there with so much setup. They're going to try sneak it through. What a shatter! Cheeky line of sight there between the walls. The beat will drop, giving them the healing they need onto the shield, but Orelson still falling there in the end. The high noon, very late delay trigger on that one, managed to get the pick they're looking for though. Onto the third, gets traded by Banana, but still they have so many people on the point, they'll keep it in their hands, up to 70% here almost.
70% indeed, and if this is a long enough fight, we're kind of looking at last fight territory, at least for a, you know, slow methodical push. The last one will be a, you know, quite a fast one. That's if Daemon, of course, lose this one, but they do have a couple of ults. They have almost both DPS ults online. You're hoping for Connie, a massive flux could come out from him. Raiden as well, almost onto his second, if not third shatter right now. That is a huge flux.
Big flux. It actually saved their life as well, as they got a little bit caught out. They just follow up with the shadow ray.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
You know what? We're ending it right here, right now. Banana gets on with the stall and the ult, which gets them frozen, but it's not enough. An outstanding final map performance to take it home. Battalion.
Well done, Battalion. Daemon did such a good job as well. You guys were so close. So close there. That's an unfortunate if you were Daemon, but congratulations, Battalion. You had a very hard fight ahead of you. Even though stuck in the grab, Gaster still kind of pop into right, McCree, right-click McCree. Oh my goodness, what a legend. That was exceptionally well played. Naya, 41% of team damage taken. What an absolute king. 74% kill participation from Fairy. Both Baptiste popping off there.
Yes, definitely showing the power of BAP on that one.
Honestly, that was one of the best games in the season. I'm not sure for me if it can compete with Tamila Latte. That is yet to remain seen. But I love that. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the night is still young. The night is still young, but my throat is very old. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. Congratulations, Battalion, for taking that one 3-2 after almost getting reverse swept. We'll see you guys soon for the next map, which, if I am very fast, is MEOW versus Leyline Firebirds. We'll see you then. Stay hydrated and please have a little power nap because that was awesome and a big one. We'll catch you then.
Stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming.
Hello, and welcome back to AOE Sports AAOL. Of course, we're getting back into things. We're going to get nice and quick on this because the team's all ready to go. So, Tonight here on the second match of the night, we've got MEOW versus Leyline Firebirds. I'll just quickly go over MEOW's team there. We've got Lawless Guy, T-Leaf, Lime, Hansel, Snug Les, and then Kim on the DPS. We've also got a couple of people there, Tipsy and Saddens and Otaku, who are subs, so I'm not quite sure who's going to be on the field. We'll see that in a moment. Some people of interest, look out for Hansel on their hit scan and Lime there on the Sim 1 trip.
That's all great to know, but now we're almost into the map, so I'm going to go through Leyline Firebirds pretty much immediately. We have Volpe, TD4W on the tank. We have Drowsy and Artemis bringing up those DPS. I know how cracked they can be, especially keep an eye out for Drowsy. And also we've got Captain Hill and Slimy Springs, who is subbing in for Valley. So very exciting matchups. Person of interest on that team is, so Drowsy cracked on his scan, and Volpe, who's basically this ball one trick. So look out for the way that they might attack each objective will be completely different from MEOW. I cast MEOW with a Para only 2 weeks ago, stranger, and that was that incredible reverse sweep fight back from Tamilolate. So they really can put on a show. Leyline Firebirds have been going exceptionally well in their bracket at the moment, coming in at second. So, and also I've got a little bit of a funny fact about Firebirds is that they have the most desire in all AAOL teams to return to Monkey. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, that sounds like this team's going to be here. I did see as well on the scoreboard that they had a pretty equal standing kind of on the board there, so they'll be looking to be pretty even. Nice little boot from Volpe to start us off. Hansel getting not so lucky there. The Cowboy will have to come in another day. Back to the bar they go. Immortality Field will keep the frontline tanks going for Firebirds. But the Doomfist is going to have to find a pick here sometime soon if they want to find it. Artemis is actually the one that does it. Drowsy, there it is, the punch, takes out Lucio, which means the healing heavily reduced. Can they get on this point? Neither team really opting for it. They just want to win that team fight first here. Great play from the Firebird. The shatter drops, but what?
What the hell was that?
DD4W absolutely slaying up the tanks there to clean up. They need to get the point in hand.
They will. Don't you worry about that. There was a little bit of argy-bargy, and certainly with that shatter to finally get Satin Bars on the floor. I should also mention that throughout the night you might find MEOW sort of switching in and out. That was a very early Immortality Field first. Forced out from Artemis, as well as the BAPS Immortality Field. Application Matrix on Firebird's side has come out. Unfortunately, they just kind of hit on MEOW, and now they're quite safe. Look for the aggression on the point now for MEOW.
Yeah, good shield from MEOW, but in the end, the shatter still lands. It's a great stun, but Drowsy in the meantime is cleaning up all the squishies they can until they end up in the bottom of the hill, because down they go from the boot. Beautiful play from the Lucios here, both getting themselves a pick in the end, but still the Firebirds are in good control here, trying to find these finishing touches onto the Lucio. High Noon from an off angle, but doesn't get any kills in the end. Hansel won't be happy about that. Does get rid of the Immortality Field that stopped all that from happening. Sadden's instantly taken down by TD4W, and this keeping it going, but Firebirds, they're still all over it. A lot of trade kills here, but as long as Firebirds serve the point, they're looking good.
They're looking good indeed. Volpe, beautiful picks, getting Lawless High off the edge pretty much immediately there. That was a very aggressive push. What the hell is going on? Artemis is able to get another little pick onto Snuggles. That will not help whatsoever. Drowsy's doing an exceptional job on that Doomfist, constantly getting into their backline and just annoying the heck out of Tipsies and Snuggles, but they're coming back. Satin Spars has now got the Graviton Surge. This is huge. Volpe almost got Minefield as well. We're supposed to look out for this guy. This man is absolutely cracked. There's a MEOW to split the rest of the team. This might be a quick take.
There it is. Instantly the will not find that. Is not the Deadeye that you want to see in the final push. They really have to get the picks. Great minefield here from Volpe, which just absolutely dominates the objective, pushing them down into that corridor where they can just CC them to pieces. That is the shatter that you want to see. Learn that one well. TD is absolutely follow up nicely with it. The DPS though from Firebirds is cracked and absolutely smashing through everyone one after the other. Doesn't matter what the tanks are doing. Lime desperate to hold it, ends up getting booped off. Now it's going to be the trickle with 99%. Firebirds are really, really doing well in this first part here. Saturn's finally going down. The overtime can go. A strong performance.
Very strong performance from Leyline Firebirds. Well done. No caster bias whatsoever. I love both teams equally here, but right now I am running the Leyline org, and you know they're the homies, you know. So I'm really glad that they're showing up tonight. Also, I didn't really mention, but Lime is actually a sim one trick, was forced onto a lesser pick of the May, so that really mixed up how does MEOW sort of play around Lime, playing a new hero, playing a different one that they're not really used to in those scrim environments. Back, of course, onto that Symmetra, and yeah, Para and I saw that Lime can really make it work once it's solidified, but with Volpe and the aggression from TD4W, man, it's hard to say fast. This could be a very fast take from MEOW.
Yeah, it looked like Volpe as well, switching tank with them. Reinhardt's now in the hands of Volpe instead of TD, so let's see if that makes a difference here. Good early aggression from Law. Gets a nice fire strike out. Immortality fields again, burnt quickly in their front line. Tipsy actually finding the pick. Good damage output. That's the kind of bat player you want on your team, healing and DPS at the same time. And again, they're on the point now. This is good. MEOW getting themselves their first percentage of the game so far by just having that point dominance.
They do, but you see that Firebirds haven't completely backed out. It's going to be quite hard for Volpe to really push. Bubbles been put out already. That is a huge pick through the amplification matrix to take out Satin Bars. That's no bubbles. This is just where the team presses W here. Drowsy taking out Line. That was very fast take, and I didn't even get to pass it back to my play-by-play caster. That was so quick. Stranger was insanely quick. Drowsy just got right in there and just gave him the business of, as well as Volpe, who's got Shatter, so look out for that man.
Yeah, that fire strike through the app matrix just snuck the head off from Tipsy and instant kill. That was rough.
That was so rough. Both Shatters, though, pretty much online. Drowsy as well. That is an amplification matrix onto the high ground just to try poke out, get any cheeky little picks, but you see all of them kind of just hiding. They just want MEOW to come to point. That's what has to happen. That's what will happen.
Yeah, good little ult here from the Sim. Splits it up. Shatter and the grab committed to that. Cancel out of nowhere, just with the triple. Takes out that immortality field as well. Not quick enough onto the trigger for that one, unfortunately, from Captain Hill. And in the end, it does cost the whole team. The convert back will happen.
It's been a bit of a flippy dippy lippy whippy, and now it is back in MEOW's favor, where Lime is best, and that is where you just put those sim turrets and make Volpe and TW4 try and get in, but it's really, really hard without a lot of healing. So maybe Slimy Springs, maybe you just go in really, really aggressive with a beat. Although Satin Bars does have the grab, which will, be what Slimy wants to sort of negate. And that is a huge pick onto Tipsy, Stranger.
Thought it might have been too early, but he still managed to find one out of it. Drowsy comes in with this punch onto Lime, gets rid of a lot of damage output with no turrets being able to be placed anywhere. Volpe just swinging through. Good DPS from the tank line even. And Snuggles is now just going to stall as long as they can. They know they're at that high percent. Look at them. They're climbing. They're flying around like an echo, but they won't be able to live much longer than that. Good stall in the end.
Really, really good stall in the end there. And because of that, they now flip the point back, and Volpe almost has another shatter here, but Lawless Kite that little bit closer, and by that I mean he actually has it. So he's gonna come out. You can see Drowsy is there for the punch, seeing if he can get just a cheeky little pick. Unfortunately does get caught out. Beautiful bubble though by TW4 to keep that man alive, as it's now just a Ryan v Ryan who can get the biggest shatter.
Oh, in the end, it looks like Volpe will be the one to come out on top. Drowsy to sneak that punch out from the side before they could get a good charge or anything in to follow up. Hansel knew defeat when they saw it, and that is a great hold there.
Yes, I was taking a little bit of a sip of water because I was just like, yes. Volpe and Drowsy, and of course the rest of the team were just able to pick up the rest of MEOW, and now it's very, very dangerous. Lime's going to come back in. Immediately will pop out. That massive shield will go across.
Here we go. Double high noon. Artemis makes sure to land theirs. Unfortunately, not going to have the same effect on Hansel's side. So in the end, the Doomfist is going to be the one jumping around, punching a lot of damage, but actually gets taken out. Poor Drowsy there, Lime being the one to end that career. And still, though, the damage is absolutely in favor of the Firebirds here as they just smash one by one the burning of the time, and that's 2 points into their hands. Lovely first map.
Well done, Leyline Firebirds, taking out Nepal. Yeah, I think that was really, really well played. Once they had the point there, they did a really good job of not allowing, once they obviously did have the point, not allowing Lime to really set up very easily. This is the massive Hansel 3K, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That was huge, taking out Turret and then popping the McCree. Yeah, really, really well played. And yeah, Volpe Volpe and TD4W, I think, played a really stellar game playing together. Artemis as well, who can forget that guy on the Cree, was able to, really hurt the enemy. And even when they high noon towards the very end, it did not work for MEOW because they had to all split up in 7 different directions despite being only 6 players. And yeah, that allowed Volpe that freedom and movement to be able to bash everybody's head in, and Drowsy just to come in with the Doomfist. So I'm really, really excited of how it's shaping up right now. And if I had to make a little bit of a prediction on what map MEOW will probably play, that will probably be Numbani. They did pick it the last time, but maybe they'll do a little bit of a mix-up onto the Eichenwald, but that will just play perfectly into Leyline Firebirds' hands. But they are picking Numbani. But I think they might have forgotten that Volpe is so cracked on the ball as well. Like so cracked. Like when I used to manage for his team, and it was like the ball one trick, but it was when ball was really, really strong. So, he's one of the best balls around this level of Overwatch. So this is why you got to keep your eyes out on him, especially when he dives in. Lawless Kai though and Saturn's Bars, they've been playing really, really well together. You notice that Lime has been switched out. Ataku is now in, and from what I remember correctly, Ataku does like to play the Echo. And, with this kind of map where you want to just dive in, do as much damage as possible, I think this will play really, really well. We've also got Kim as well. She's now in. We had Kim and Tim at one point there. That was very, very funny. Not anymore though. But yeah, Kim did a really, really good job. Great healing came out from them the last time. And yeah, this is shaping up to be a really, really good match. But be prepared for quite a aggressive dive from Firebirds here, and quite a reserved, a little bit more pokey defense from MEOW.
It was good at seeing the switch up as well. Volpe and TD forward, like switching those tank rolls. I think TD had a bit of a trouble getting some of those shatters down in that first point. So then getting switch up lets Volpe have a go at it, and they really shined as well on that. And then TD as well came out strong on the other tank line. So a clever switch there for them. And also, like you say, Drowsy's just been getting all that space. It's just crazy. You cannot let a Doomfist have all that room and not punish them for it. So that's where they really excel, I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Drowsy clearly has been practicing a lot of the Doomfist as well, and this would work, of course, really well with the Numbani diving in with the ball, creating all that space, getting the kills as well. As Captain's been doing a great job, and Slimy, of course, keeping the rest of the team alive. So there's no reason why this can't work into Firebirds' favor here, but Ataku is quite cracked on the Echo, as Opara and I saw week 2, I believe. And so I'm really excited to see what sort of compositions they might roll out. But from seeing what we saw on that last map, I'd say there'd be quite a lot of dives from either side, and it's basically a battle of wills of who can live the longest with all this spam and burst damage.
Yeah, well, MEOW will be first on the attack here. Give them the chance to set the bar high and keep it strong. So let's see what they can do about it.
Yeah, let's see what they can do about it. Indeed, we do have Leyline Firebirds switching it up a little bit, going the defense first. I don't know why I said that, because you can only go attack and control. Oh, duh. Anyway, they will be defensing up this place, and we'll also be defensing up the screen as a pause does hit. As maybe there's a little bit of a DC, unfortunately. But yeah, we can now have a little bit of a closer inspection of the comps. I know you guys might not be able to see it, but for the virtual podcasters at home, we have Drowsy again on the Doom. It's basically the same comp that we saw on Nepal. Other side though, huge switch up. Lawless Guy, Satin Bars is on the dive of. You don't really see D.Va very often, but on that D.Va, so probably looking, to help Lawless Kai, who's Winston, get in and soak up a lot of the damage from the likes of Artemis, who is on the McCree to protect Captain. You got also Hansel, who was pretty cracked on the Widow. I remember Hansel. He was incredible and absolutely showed up. You got Kim on the Mercy and Tipsy, of course, as well, bringing up the rear as this pause will come down. And yeah, now we're just looking to see how Leyline Firebirds might counter quite a crazy composition coming out. But yeah, there will be definitely a dive. Kim will be diving in with their tanks, trying to keep the rest of the team alive, as a lot of damage will come out.
Yeah, look, already we see some poke here from Otaku, to just try and see if they can get something sneaky out. Hansel actually finding a great headshot there to just start the fight out nicely, but gets jumped by Drowsy straight afterwards to return the favor. That Doomfist having a similar one-tap effect, but much more maneuverable than the Widowmaker. In the end, Otaku's actually going to get the pick on Volpe, which means the defensive prowess is reduced. Hansel with a beautiful shot on Drowsy, the flick to the head to take that out. The DPS are shining strong here to just completely aggress onto this point. Still though, being held by TD4W. Jeez, it's a mouthful. You weren't wrong.
Hard,
they finally go down. Artemis actually gets the kill, but it doesn't matter as the sticky bomb still cheekily taking out Slim before they get taken out themselves. Artemis still on the aggression, going hard, even though the point really looked like it should have been in their control long ago. The trickling back on to stall it, but somehow it's actually kind of worked.
No tick has been given up either. Leyline, what the hell was that? Firebirds, that was enormous there. They didn't even give up a tick. Drowsy came back, not on the Doom this time, but on the Echo, matching it. Artemis also some crack shots onto Kim. That will obviously not helping whatsoever. Now there's quite the Echo jewel up in the sky, but I did forget just how cracked Hansel can be on this Widow, just popping and clicking heads. So this will be quite a battle, but right now there's a couple of ultimates now trickling for Firebirds, and they can hold this, but they have to be careful of bomb.
Oh, that's massive to shut down the high noon. The bubble completely engulfs them. There's just no value to be found there. Hansel as well, capitalizing on the space made, taking out the old Winston, which means all the shielding getting just reduced to nothing. They finally got rid of both tanks quickly. The Lucio falls. No stall will be allowed for Hansel. Just pops with a triple, and that's just the point for them.
That is the point for them. Hansel uncontested and just able to, pressure and kill a lot of members. And now for Firebirds, you just got to back up, because unfortunately a couple of them were staggered to the bad point. Ooh. Artemis though, gone onto the Tracer. Immediately got Hansel. Probably will stick to it. That is an unlucky pick though. Otaku, beautiful shots landing onto Artemis's noggin, sending them back to spawn.
Oh, Drowsy straight away with the Reinhardt clone. D.Va bomb is in nowhere. Unfortunately, not going to get any picks out of it. The street's just a little too open for that. Law making sure to shut down Volpe, who's probably struggling because they want to dive on to that Widow if they can and help the Tracer, just because so much room being given to Hansel, who seems to just keep getting those headshots one after the other. That cart continues to roll.
Yeah, that cart only just started continuing to roll as well, Stranger, so it's probably not as far up as MEOW might like it. There's a couple of ultimates coming out. Volpe has switched over to the Reinhardt there, realized that maybe Drowsy, who's just switched to the Doom, and Artemis can probably deal with the Widow by themselves. You can see the immediate take of high ground from both sides here. This is a battle for high ground, basically would be the battle for point.
Yeah, well, here we go. Drowsy kind of giving up there on the old Echo, straight back onto that Doomfist. Great bit of damage there from Captain Hill as well, healing the team and taking out the Reinhardt, which is big. But the Rhines res back in, but not before the slam down comes down. There's a lot of ult use there, but not many kills coming out of it. Otaku does manage to get the clone slam onto Drowsy, so that's one way to just assert dominance. Volpe gets the pin. Good stuff to take a tank out. They've stalled it here for a good bit of time, but it's still quite a damage advantage in the hand of MEOW, who just want to keep it going. They got to get rid of TD4W, but that Lucio healing is just nice and passive, keeping it going. They finally find the shot they needed, but in the time they get back, Drowsy I thought would come to assist greatly, but ended up getting taken quickly. What a sleep dart Artemis gets. Nobel, he actually manages to get the E off, to get the old teleport back, but in the end still getting taken as they have to try stay on the point. A good stall for just a bit longer.
Yeah, this is what they don't want to happen. You don't want to get picked here. You just got to back up as fast and as hard as you can for Firebirds to try and take this. This beautiful aggression from MEOW is really hurting Firebirds, and Lawless Kai has got that shadows looking to completely shut down the rest of this fight. Slimy, though, will have that beat to possibly negate everything that will come at them. But Hansel's been so cracked so far. Here comes the Echo.
Oh, Echo climb into the Reinhardt, Diva bomb into the back, and it's just unprotected, so down go two from it. A reverse and a sweep. Beautiful. Hansel's nice and open and shuts down the Widow from Artemis. It's just a clean sweep in the end for MEOW. They're just going to keep the cart moving. It's going to be a last-ditch attempt here to stop that payload at the last second. Tracer managed to get on. The beat drops to give them plenty of health, but a shatter from Law again quickly after the previous one. These guys are probably tired of being on their backs, but they're not going to be let down at all from this. Immortality Field lands in a good position and lets Ball get some great protection there. Volpe doing what they can with that. Artemis being smart here, actually going to the back line to affect some of that damage there that's doing all the work for them. Not worried too much about the car because the tanks have that pretty well under control. Actually surviving really good. So with the flick to the head and nuts kill. And in the end, Slim actually trades them out. Good old Lucio player to take out a Widowmaker. That's the job, really. Diva bomb right on the cart. It actually does find Drowsy, who's now onto the old McCree, just trying to mix it up as much as they can. Even though the push has been just consistent, the heals and the respawns are just continuous, and it's getting really difficult for MEOW to just keep it going. They are getting a lot of kills though. Law just doing so much work. High noon from Drowsy, but the shield is consistent. Finally breaks at the last second. The timing was immaculate there from Drowsy. Sneaks the kill out onto the Tracer, and that lets them hold it 3.5 meters off.
Oh my gosh, that was such a huge fight, Stranger. It went back and forward and back and forward, but the beautiful stalls from Volpe, Captain keeping everybody alive, of course. Slimy as well was just able to just trickle in, occasionally getting that kill. You can see Hansel going over to the McCree, doesn't like being picked out so much by Slimy and Artemis, who were in the back line taking him out. So this is the last fight here, pretty much. This is the last opportunity for MEOW to be able to push here. This is an amplification matrix. This could get a couple of picks. There is a shatter though for Lawless Kai. Look out for that. Artemis though getting picked out will not help for Firebirds here, but there is some minefields being dropped in the back.
Good positioning as well. Reinhardt trying to clear that out as much as they do. They actually do clean it pretty clean in the end. Lets the team move around nicely. What a shatter through the cart onto TD4. The beat drop though gives them all the healing they need. Drowsy with another ult, but it's blocked. Not going to get any value. The res onto Hansel brings that McCree back into the fight. The stun going to be crucial for this battle. Law manages to pick up that. There's the kills. Huge minefield from the clone ball. Otaku, sorry, absolutely huge choice there on the clone pick. Drowsy with the stun, but in the end it wasn't enough for the whole team to kill. Reinhardt goes for the pin. Does just barely get there in time to give Tracer the second to get on. Slim's there as well. The noon sneaks out the two they need. Wow, Wrecking Ball Volpe on there, but with another stun. That's all they have. As I said, it made the diff, and they got the point. Great start.
They had a great start for MEOW there. Really tough battle. Leyline put up an incredible defense. It even hit overtime, which doesn't really matter in this case of, whether it's a minute 30 or a minute here. You still got that 1 minute to push on the defense, but that was exceptionally well played by both sides. Of course, the defense, could have been capped in, I think, 3.5 minutes there, but because of the incredible stalls, got it all the way to overtime. So you should be patting yourselves on the back, Firebirds. But MEOW looking really, really strong on that attack there. Especially Hansel found his headshots, found how cracked he can be on that Widow. I hope we can now see it, ladies and gentlemen. This guy can be insane here. And we're hoping to see more on this defense as now, of course, Hansel will have that high ground, have a better opportunity to probably land some of those attacks. We are yet to see, but I think it will be the same sort of dive as we've been seeing with Hansel and Hansel on that McCree, taking that little bit of high ground. But interestingly enough, Captain Hill on the Ana Stranger, and we'll see Drowsy taking up the mantle of being the Genji, being the main damage dealer. Slimy Springs can't really select what he wants to be. It probably will land on the Lucio to keep the speed and the aggression going here. You can see Otaku, of course, going on to his favorite pick of Echo, seeing if they can get a quick, cheeky, easy kill to really burn down Firebirds' attack time.
Yeah, like you say, a good win condition there with the Ana and the ult. Nice aggression as well from Volpe, just getting right in that backline on those squishies, but Artemis unfortunately walks into their defeat as Hansel finds the nade right onto them with a follow-up headshot. Great accuracy coming out from them. Mostly everything I've seen on that kill feed has been a headshot from them. Some great damage output. Otaku following up nice to take the tanks. He has a great hold to start with. Volpe knows it's just going to go into the backline a bit and see if they can't buy a good position out of it as the rest of the team get regrouped.
Yeah, they will get regrouped. Volpe is in the backline, possibly going to try and annoy the Ana. The problem with that, of course, is the sleep. So who do you really go for here? You've got so much stun if you were, on the ball right now. So you're going to have to play exceptionally careful and work with TD4W as they dive in and possibly try and go for one healer. And that would more likely be Tipsy, because Kim's just up in that air, just pocketing Otaku. And here comes the next engagement.
Yeah, that dive up from TD4 doesn't quite land up there. Volpe's doing well to keep the pressure on. There's the damage output. Artemis taking out Hansel there. And down goes Kim as well from Captain, who's not afraid to shoot some DPS out. A good nade to follow up as well, which puts Tipsy in a rough position. TD4W capitalizing well on the low health and takes them out of the fight quickly, which gives them a lot of advantage in this battle here. Now, Saturn's taken out in the end, finally goes down, and the payload is now in motion.
That was really well played. They went for the exact same target. That target was the Mercy and, of course, Lawless Kai as well, falling pretty much immediately there. And without that main tank, without that Winston support, there's nothing much you can really do. Otaku, though, does have the Echo duplicate, so looking probably to get either the Winston or even the Tracer with as many pulse bombs as possible. Speaking of Tracer, Artemis does have that pulse themselves and will look to get into that backline, possibly get Tipsy and then Kim on top of that, as the res can be so detrimental to an attacking team.
Yeah, look, 5 ults right now. It's all going to go down together. That pulse bomb lands just as we were discussing. Tipsy taking quickly out the fight. You are a prophet, and I will not accept anything less. TD4W absolutely holds that front line together while the rest of the team poke away at the back. It's looking really good. That cart's still moving just a little bit. Saturn's coming in. There's that Noon. Nice and late, but unfortunately for Drowsy, it doesn't connect as they had planned. Law's got that shield up in place, and it's not going anywhere. Good pressure from TD4. Focus down. Fire strike is strong, combined with the rest of the damage that can come out from that backline as well. Look, just great healing from Kim as well, to moving around the field effectively, not taking too much damage as well themselves and being quite safe. So really good healing so far, is holding that tank line together, and you can see it's giving Law that confidence to be on that point alone and just hold it together. The team, they're just going to back off here maybe and regroup. They're kind of poking slowly.
Yeah, the poke as well has been an absolute detriment to the likes of Captain Hill and make that the rest of the team is Lawless Kai. Beautiful little shatter there onto Volpe. That will be another couple of seconds, precious seconds, bitten off the time of Firebirds here. MEOW coming up with a very good defense here. They do have Hansel, who has that high noon, and of course Ataku, again another duplicate, but that's basically saying the same though for Firebirds. Both EPS ultimates will come out. Possibly this fight, Volpe as well will have the mines looking to get into their backline and annoy the heck out of Tipsy, but watch out for that res again.
Yeah, look, again, quickly, Hansel falling, unfortunately, which is a lot of damage. The Deadeye removed. We're at our high noon again, but Artemis is doing all the work that needs to be done. There's that draw finally. Takes the clone out, which is actually huge because that's all that damage removed from the battle. They follow up with the actual kill as well, and the team have done really well to get all the kills they needed there.
Yeah, really, really well. Especially how it looks so... It actually looks daunting looking at the team of MEOW when they're defending. It's like, how are we going to possibly break this? So clearly the communication from Firebirds has been really, really good and really stellar, taking out Hansel when they had a high noon of their own. And that could have just, obliterated, much like, Drowsy's high noon, of how much pressure that put on MEOW, and then taking out Ataku as well, who has actually switched off to the Hanzo, possibly trying to get a couple more picks. And yeah, now moving on to this last little bit, I wouldn't be surprised after TD4W's ult does switch off to that Reinhardt. It's a little bit harder to dive on this point, Stranger. And especially with Lawless Kai coming with a shatter, there's nothing really to block it unless an absolute god tier bubble falls from TD4W. I will always get that wrong. Oh my gosh, there is a little bit dive in the backline.
Oh, the dive was good, but it was answered quickly. The nade just completely shut it down. This DPS line saying, nope, you're not going down there, guys. Get back on that cart where we want you. And just completely holds off the push. Nothing to be seen there.
Nothing to be seen there at all. And there we go. TD4W, despite not really getting to use ult, does switch off to that Reinhardt. Like I said, doesn't really get much value, unfortunately, the Winnie boy. Volpe also, that's an interesting pick. Gone onto the Sigma, probably for that Flux high noon, perhaps, even though there's no McCree. My bad. There is a Drowsy, though. Drowsy will possibly trying to get into Tipsy or Taku. Got to be careful of Hansel. There's so many ultimates for MEOW to fall back on as a defensive team here. They're looking really strong here, Stranger, and it's going to take a lot of communication to break this.
Yeah, look, they pull out the nano really early here. And I think this is really smart from Firebirds. They just want to burn that away. Don't want to deal with that at all. So that's very clever movement from them. And now they know, okay, time to push in. We've got that spacing as we needed it. Get the shield up the front. Moving on in. Drowsy back on that Doomfist as well, which is where they really were shining earlier. The beat drops to engage. Hammer falls, but unfortunately not as effective as they would have wanted. TD does go down there. The high noon happens, but also doesn't have much value in the end. These ults not connecting as they might want. There's the dragons into the grab. Does find a kill just from the crossfire as they're trying to escape. Volpe gets taken out of that, and there's only a minute remaining now.
Only 60 seconds remaining. TD4W will have to really pick up their britches and see if they can carry this team, because they're the only one that's really that close to an ultimate here. But the other team, MEOW, doesn't actually have many eggs in their basket either. Does have both support ults though, and almost both support ults, should I say. That's a huge pick. Lawless Kai falling.
Oh, down goes Lawless, so the shield falls and the hammer falls just afterwards too. Great damage output there from Drowsy to follow up with the gaps created. Takes out some crucial targets. Slim's not afraid to get involved with the damage either, and they're going to get it there.
They're going to get it. Well, there we go. Like, the shatter came through. TD4W picked up their britches. And it was obviously it was thanks to Drowsy, Lawless Kai falling, and because of that, was able to help their team to victory. Indeed, that shatter was basically just cementing their unfortunate demise. Only 15 seconds though. That's really been gained. So it's still pretty much even Stevens. Leyline Firebirds, they hold some sort of slight semblance of, that's a lot of adjectives before I even get to advantage, but there we are, I got to it eventually.
Sorta, kinda, maybe.
Sorta, kinda, maybe not. Positively, negatively charged ion vacuum. Okay, it seems like the first people to attack will be MEOW, and defending, of course, will be the Firebirds team, who still kind of deciding on their heroes, though. They do have the double bubble trouble, and Artemis and Drowsy will be picking up Soldier and Echo respectively. Hansel, of course, on the Widow, cracked as usual on the attack, which you don't really expect, but this guy can just find all these crazy angles to pick off from. Same supports both sides as well. Otaku will be looking to match, quite literally, the Echo with an Echo duplicate.
Yeah, of course. Look, oh my goodness, Hansel just instantly asserting some dominance, forces out the early res. So Volpe knows they got to get up there in that front line a little bit, help out, get some of that pressure away. Captain Hill not going to be happy they had to use that up so quickly. There it is, Drowsy to fall, but they're actually getting a good couple of picks here to trade it out. Artemis on that damage output just says nope, not quite ready to give it up just yet, as they got to clean up the last few. That's a good stagger. Saturn's knew they had to get rid of that and didn't want to burn too much time.
I didn't want to burn too much time, and yeah, I'm not really certain we might see any ultimates here. Volpe is the closest, did get a nice little pick onto Tipsy that last little second there. This will be really intense. We're at 7 seconds. They've got to get there as fast as possible here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The monkey just gets in time. Lawless.
Laws there. Hansel's off to the side with a good position. Could get a crucial pick. Has to make it happen. There it is. Onto the healer. But in the meantime, they lose two, including a healer of their own, which is massive. The trades. Hansel's still in it. Takes their second healer out of the fight there. But they've just got not a lot of point pressure, unfortunately. And with tanks in hand, the point will not be theirs. That's a great hold.
That's a great hold. Worst Firebirds can do now is draw it, so at least it's not a loss in the books here. But now you got that. Now it's flipped. You got 1 minute and 15 seconds, Firebirds, to see if you can take it. It was really well played, that defense. You guys had brilliant positioning. Unfortunately, MEOW just got picked off a little bit too early for Hansel to really get nice and centered and be able to pick off as many players as he can do. And now, yeah, it's looking really, really intense. If you're, attacking, there's quite a bit of pressure to show up. Well, how do you play this? What would you do, Stranger?
If you're asking me, mate, you just got to click heads, really. That's just click heads, win game.
click heads, lol.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Drowsy here. I think that they, even throughout this whole match, have had a lot of impact on whether the fight wins with those early picks. TD4W as well, kind of using those openings to have good impact in these fights, and so they're going to have to be very clinical, I think, about their approach here. Otaku on the old Echo is going to be a real pain from that high ground. So if they can use the turret and McCree to really shut that out of the sky quickly, that'll really net them a good result here.
Thank you for color casting while I had a nice little slurp of my drink. All right, we are on to our final little attack here. We've got a Drowsy on the Torbjorn in. Very interesting pick from an attacking point of view. Volpe will be not actually playing the Reinhardt. That will fall on the shoulders of TD4W. There is, of course, Lawless Kai and Satin Bars that will be bringing up that Diva little thing. And now they're immediately on the point here.
Yeah, really slow reaction time as well to get on, so they've already got halfway to their objective. They find a good pick on Law, which just really is a good start for them. There's Drowsy getting the impact they want, the kill onto the head, onto Kim, but they are traded out. Doesn't matter, the fight is definitely looking good for them. The final cleanup, and that is going to be the point in their hands. God damn, that was a beautiful execute.
That was a beautiful execution. I was wondering what the heck they were going to do. With that Torbjorn pick, but they made it work. They just went directly to the point, which I think was the smartest move, underground. And they had, with that, you want people actually up close and personal for your Reinhardt to be able to pop off here. Otaku getting some beautiful little picks here, popping off.
Yeah, clean.
Well done, Zach. beautiful job there. But Leyline Firebirds up 2-0 here, strangely. They're looking awfully strong. But
Yeah.
MEOW, I wonder if they'll do any subs or keep it the same as we move on to Assault, which is either Middle of Anubis or Volskaya Industries. If my memory serves me correctly, we went to Anubis, so I wouldn't be surprised if we went there again. You have a little bit more playtime with what heroes you can play there. Yeah, so I'll be excited to see what we've got. A real match on our hands. It's been so intense, but I think the pathing from Firebirds is just a little bit better and more well executed than MEOW, and unfortunately just could not touch the point in time.
Yeah, that's true. Look, that has been a great performance from that aggressive line of Firebirds. They really have been focusing down nicely, which has been great from them. I like that they're not afraid to mix up their tank line as well to accommodate how they're wanting to play in that form as well, which is, I think maybe even that might be throwing off MEOW a little bit. It's kind of hard when players are mixing up how you just get used to one of them and then they've kind of switched over or stuff like that. So I feel like right now Firebirds are probably a bit more solid in terms of like working as a team, and they're getting because of that they're kind of getting more value out of those ults that they're using when they do.
Yeah, I think they are, and especially with MEOW, it feels like they just didn't have quite enough movement there, whereas Firebirds, I just felt like the ball was always in their court in that last one as soon as they got onto that objective, because it forced MEOW into a crazy position where they had to kind of catch up despite them being the defensive team. So I think this is really well played from Firebirds, and they're looking pretty strong here. And yeah, Volpe hasn't actually picked the ball as much as I thought he might. And yeah, I'm wondering if we might see it a little bit more on Anubis. That's if they do pick it, of course. If they do pick Volskaya, which I do doubt, honestly, then you might see that more brawly style of play coming into this. But it seems like there hasn't been any actual switches from the team as there hasn't been any actual switches from MEOW, which I'm surprised at. Sometimes you do find some tanks have been switched out from MEOW in the past, but not here. They seem to be, coming quite well. Maybe and maybe they're like, don't worry, I've got this. Put the last map into my hands. But right now, yeah, the ball's in Firebirds' court. Can they? I don't know. What's the Mario tennis, like Mario power move, smash, ultimate? I don't know. Right back.
Dude. Yeah, they got to spike this into submission right now. They want to be clean and cut. They don't want to drag this on any further. They got to make sure they just assert that dominance. But MEOW, they're having a chat with their coach, which is good to hear. I like that they're making sure that they're communicating and getting their game plan together, because they got to make sure that they win everything from here, because it's pretty rough going from this point on. They need to make sure that they basically sweep it out, being at that 2-point deficit.
But like, if they can get coached, can I get a shoulder rub? It's like
this guy.
One of from casting. My gosh. Anyway, it seems like they have actually gone for Sky Industries. This is why they have Lime. They are going to, on the attack, they're going to telly straight either far left side, unlikely, or they will, that little sort of house just before the point. I don't really know what to call it, but it's got that mini health pack kit. You can actually telly on top of it while, having your Reinhardt just holding there, and that's where you can just get the jump behind someone like Firebirds here. But it's not to say that it's a losable. That's 100% not what I'm saying. Drowsy can always get into the just delete Lime like we saw in Nepal, and that would be absolutely detrimental here. But it seems like Lime has been switched out for Hansel. The cracked hit scan, will it work out? Well, yet to be seen, as we're just waiting for the coach to give some final words of advice. I'm still waiting for my back rub.
This guy. I think that, like you say, like Lime and kind of Drowsy is an interesting pair up, because obviously Drowsy wants to jump on in, but if Lime's got that good setup going, that's going to be really bad for Drowsy. So, like, I think again we're seeing a lot of pressure put onto the DPS players of these two teams to really make most of it happened. Whereas kind of the games we saw earlier tonight, I think that it kind of fell into the tank's shoulders a little more. So it's interesting how different teams
The dynamics, it really does. It actually, to me, it seems that. Sorry, everybody. To me, it seems that Firebirds, they're a little bit more well-rounded. Sorry, oh my God, can't take it seriously. Going back normal, everybody. Hi, Dad. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, like I was gonna say, this coach has some a long paragraph of conclusions and final words, but Firebirds, they seem to be able to rely on each other a little bit more, whereas MEOW, they're kind of waiting for Otaku or waiting for Hansel to get the picks. Lawless Kai, they can come up pretty strong, but you can always rely on the likes of Volpe or TD4W to really pop off with the grabs and the shatters and stuff like that. Yeah. Although I must say, Kim and Snuggles are doing a really good job with healing, like I think you pointed out. During Numbani, it's looking pretty good. It's like I said, it's daunting looking at how much healing Kim and Snuggles can really get done. As finally, the words of advice, the kiss goodnight, the kiss goodbye, the hug, kisses have been exchanged, and we are into Volskaya Industries as we're moving possibly into the last map. But if anything can be, anything can happen here.
Well, definitely not going to draw them out of it just yet. Volskaya is one of those games that can really go either way, isn't it? So I'm interested to see how they really utilize the sim, because obviously it's got a lot of potential on a map like this, and you can be very cheeky with it, as you've seen in plenty of the clips on the old YouTubes and on Twitch. So
yeah, you can, and you can see that on the attack, it seems that it will be Firebirds Drowsy picking up the tool, which I don't disagree with, if I'm honest. I mean, Taku will have to be extra careful here, and that will be about it. I suppose Lime will have to be worried about where he's sort of sitting on the point and stuff like that. Whereas I just can't get over this Torbjorn pick. It's great. Volpe will be poking a little bit more on the Sigma, whereas TD4W will be holding that choke a little bit more aggressively, looking for those swings, as it seems like there actually has been a sub on Firebirds. Of my apologies, Slimy has been swapped out. That is an immediate teleport to left side. I didn't even see it, and I can see an overview of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, they're getting very tricky with that sim already. So I like that they're making sure that they use this map environment to their advantage. They want to get right behind them from the looks of things, and actually that's a very clever play from them. They've completely disrupted most of the setup you could get, but it doesn't matter. You got to have the damage output to match. Get the hill with their headshot. That stops the res too, which is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunate there for Kim, and now this puts them in an awkward position. They're low on men and caught in the back line. Off the map they fall. So the tanks know it's time to reset. Like a lot of time burnt to achieve that.
A lot of time to burn. That's a whole minute off the clock for them. And now, a couple of ults are about to come online. I mean, that was a beautiful play from Captain, disrupting that res from Kim there, and which basically allowed them to keep pushing, keep the fight going. Lime is still opting for the sim, of course. This time, I wonder which way they'll go. Will they go top? I think they might, as they're looking on the right side of that truck there.
Yeah, look, good push in with the bubble to get the aggression going. Nice fire strike from TDW as well. They've really split law well here. If the team can capitalize well, they're on the back of the shield, and there's the kill, just as we thought they would. Another teleporter, interesting position, but the team can't really use it very well. Unfortunately, without that Reinhardt in their front line, this is kind of a wet push. Although Otaku says doesn't matter, we're going to make sure we take down Volpe in the end. Res quickly back into the fight to balance it out. Again, Otaku absolutely just they have to confirm those kills. They know the only way through is like that. The shield not going to be able to block it. They still get the kills, but pin from Lawless ends up turning the favor. Out comes the old lava flow, which Law's now trapped and the Sigma ults. It's just left and right. The clone Sigma ult comes out as well. Everyone's pumping ults, but nobody's dying from them really. There's just so much protection coming out. Good play from the support and tank lines to make that go. Another second ult, but unfortunately not connecting with anything in the end there. That's good use of the clone. Comes out with a burst after coming out. A second kill onto Captain Hill. Man, Otaku's just having lots of value, even with the missed ult there. It didn't matter. They're still just putting out so much damage, and that finds them this point.
Finds them this point, finally, with a couple of those minutes ticking by, but they do have it, and they have a lot of ults as well, MEOW, that will take this with both tank ultimates, whereas, you know, Firebirds, they're just dropping that little bit more in that area. They do have both supports. They will have to try and keep, you know, the likes of Volpe and TD4W up, you know, they'll have to try exceptionally hard, especially with this shield splitting the point down the middle.
Yeah, this is a great positioning for the shield, and now look, they're being really smart about it. Keep on their side. The Shatter takes out both tanks. Bob's caught in the grab as well, but he's still going to make his way across that point in the end. Otaku doesn't stop though while that's all going on, finds himself a kill, and then the res will bring that Reinhardt straight back into the fight though. The shields are in play, and they're doing what they can. They're still looking like they got good point advantage, even though they're losing a couple there. The turret is what finds Volpe in the end. So look, it's a bit of a split battle here. TD's still just doing what they can to be on that objective, but the laser beams from Otaku are just a little too much to handle. A good tick found there. Volpe gets on to stall. The Wrecking Ball's being cloned by Otaku. They go for the boot, not quite getting anyone off the point. Saturns does take Volpe out though, so there's a bit of the stall reduced. Captain Hill, a great person to stall in this objective, especially with the Torbjorn all over the point line with the turrets. You gotta be kidding me. Finds the triple out of it. Lawless getting on amongst it as well. They're finding so many kills, but these spawn trickles are really efficient. Second tick found. Looks like they are going to get on. No, they won't. The third tick just barely stopped by Drowsy for a moment, but it is so tight in the end. They find the kill on Captain to seal the deal. A lot of kills needed there.
A lot of kills needed. Lime's turrets were just so brutal for Firebirds. They did pretty well, though. They burnt quite a lot of time off of what was basically a lost fight from fight mid at Uno, and you know they were never able to bring it back per se, but they were able to drain that clock that little bit more. But they still MEOW, incredible 2.5 minutes with Volskaya Industries, so they'll be sitting very pleased for their next attack. Whereas now it's the balls in Firebirds' court. Can they do anything? I think they can. The problem is, how will Lime set up on Volskaya? Probably around that archway for, you know, on the defensive side of that arch, and we'll have Lawless, Kai, and Satins just sitting there and, you know, basically kiting them in enough and then beating them up, of course, with how close ranged everything is. Otaku, of course, onto that Echo, being able to range so much damage from above. I like this pick, though, from Drowsy. Has gone onto the 76. Artemis as well onto that crate. It's a lot of hit scan, a lot of hope potential here, and I think they really need it. They've also got Valley. I like this Moira pick. I don't like playing Moira, but I think this Coalescence will really help them through the point. They will know now that Lime does like to play a sim and to expect it 100% with their attack.
Yeah, look, I have to totally agree. Double hit scan, always a good pick when you're having to deal with some aerial combat. And of course, Otaku's value so far in this match has just been outstanding. So they cannot afford to let them be alive for much longer. Similar strategy to start here, going off around the side. Drowsy gets ahead of the turrets, which allows them to shut that down. That was really effective for them, but they need to make sure they don't leave their team high and dry. They've actually got behind the line. Great work for Drowsy to pick up Kim there. No reses for anybody to begin things. Artemis takes down Law as well. This is a good start for them. They got to make sure they take this fight to the point now. Artemis keeping the aggression going, takes out Lime. Those turrets not able to be in place since they're taken out earlier by Drowsy. Just really effective positioning has given them this point so far. And there it is. Otaku finally gets taken out off the line. That double hit scan putting the pressure on them. You can see it.
Yeah, you can see the immediate rewards from Artemis and Drowsy doing those, little mini flanks and just catching them off guard. I mean, it was so fast. They got 5 minutes and 50 seconds to take this point, and a couple of ultimates almost in their back pocket, especially Volpe with that shatter. So look out for that. It will be a Ryan v Ryan mental war right now.
Well, there you go. Otaku's finally said they've had enough. They take out Artemis as well. The cloned High Noon finds Captain, and that's enough kills to want to push them back. Almost gets a second out of that, which just shows you how much bloody damage Otaku's putting out. It is a lot, and they should definitely be feared.
They should indeed. Volpe, though, and Valley, they should be using their ultimates pretty much in tandem as you'll see, a very aggressive coalescence, I'd say, into this next fight. Captain will want to keep his ultimate as long as possible, the sound barrier, to possibly try and get Lawless Kai or the likes of Saturn Bar's ultimate completely negated, but this is going to be quite a hard push. You can see quite an aggressive high ground take here. They will just go to point, though.
Yeah, this is really effective. Just get in amongst it. Don't let them set up too much. There's that ult. The shatter falls and gets both tanks, which is definitely going to put a pressure onto that tank line. They do fall one after the other there. A high tide comes along to just take out one of their healers. Leyline looking so good right now. Absolute dominance on the second point to just find it on the first play.
They've found the time too, and despite the great capture of 250 seconds, it's now been drained because Leyline got an even better time of 3 minutes and 54 seconds. That's gotta hurt. MEOW. It is winnable for you, but Leyline that's double the time, and that's pretty much another 4 fights gained because of that. I think Volpe played an exceptional Reinhardt, of course, TW4, TD. I'll just call him TD. I don't know why I do TW, but here we go. TD. Playing really well with Volpe, keeping him alive. Of course, Captain, and that coalescence as well went right through that, through Lime's shield there, and it was basically useless, especially with that huge shatter that shut down the point. We can see that he's gone. Drowsy's gone. Excuse me. Drowsy has gone the Torbjorn, possibly again, just to pick out. It worked kind of the first time. They did hold point A a lot longer than they did point B, so they're probably just looking for the same thing again here. Exactly the same composition, of course, run by MEOW. Lime will probably go, try left side again, possibly go main. Who knows? But you can see now, this is it, Stranger. Can they get a tick here? And if so, can they take the map?
I mean, there's a lot resting on 2 minutes. There's a lot of pressure to try and push this lot, especially with the strong tank line, like you just said before, who have been really finding their groove in the last few rounds to get themselves into a great rhythm of protecting each other well. They're very careful here, moving right back to point to start, which does give MEOW that space to move up the side here and allow them to get into a nice position at the high ground. Volpe needs to be very careful about where they are. Being nice under that building, they got some protection. Lots of damage coming down from Otaku as they just burst on. The shield for Law looking rough, but they've got the bubble. There's an attempted pin, but it's off the edge. No, it doesn't matter. They get taken out anyway. Otaku with a double kill here. That's the kills they need. TD might be able to pick up Saturns in the trade. Drowsy stealing it off them in time. They've got to get rid of Otaku or Kim here to just get rid of that damage output. Lime making sure that they're not forgotten about either. Getting rid of both DPS. There's the third kill. The turret stealing the fame at the end. Good push.
Good push. Lime got behind them, got behind Firebirds, and just removed the rest of the team. The beam just took the last little bit of the kill there, but that was all Lime, who's got that massive barrier that he was stretched down the middle once again. And we see Otaku as well with the duplicate. This is all down to possibly Artemis and the High Noon to shut down this incredible echo that is Otaku right here. And Kim as well will keep the rest of the team alive, possibly popping that Valkyrie, but they've only got 50 seconds. So this is it. I love this little position though.
Oh, teleporting right around on the platform around the corner. But look, I think Leyline had mostly an answer for it. They get in front of that shield. There's the trade of the kills. The Noon is massive though. Takes out Snuggles and removes the clone from the fight. They find Otaku as well. This is just so much damage, and with only 30 seconds left, the final 4 from MEOW get sucked into a grab, and their health bars are drained to nothing. Saturn's slow to fall at the end, and now only 20 seconds. It's going to be a desperate trickle.
It's going to be a desperate trickle. They do have Lime, who's going to possibly tally, but I don't really know what value they can get. They do have that 10-second barrier just to try and regroup as much as possible here, but Volpe's got that shot. That's a huge pick onto Saturn's, actually. Can they touch? Yes, they can.
Oh, they just sneak over that shadow, which actually does still net them the kill onto Lawless. There's the pickups on Kim, so no healing. Lime now has to 1v6. That didn't go well. The headshot finishes them, and the overtime is gone, so no second point for them.
No second point. That is a win condition for Firebirds. They've just got to get 1 tick onto second point. Artemis has been absolutely popping off this map, Stranger. It's been working really well into their favor, excuse me. And yeah, this could be the map, the final map. But MEOW, their defense is looking really strong with Lime, but perhaps Lime's a bit too big for their boots right now, because they've got to do an exceptional job at holding. Not to say that they can't. MEOW do have a very good defense on their hands here, but with 4 minutes remaining, I could see this either coming to a draw or a win for Firebirds here.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good. That time is a lot, and we've seen how they've been comboing up those ults as well, so they're really effective at pushing, especially on this first point. Before that, they weren't messing around when they went for that, so I think that if MEOW's really clever here and they can hold off and burn a lot of time here at the first point, they'll be looking pretty good. But if they don't hold this first point and end up giving a lot of time for the push on the second, they're going to have a rough time.
They're going to have a really rough time. But based on their first attack, though, Leyline, it's not all over for them. We can see a cheeky little Otaku at the top trying to get as much burst damage as possible. Went right to a Zarya bubble. Did get a little bit of ult charge, but will have to back off pretty much immediately here. How will they take this? Who knows? But Artemis and Drowsy on that hit scan again. Stranger, this could be big.
Yeah, look, Firebirds, they're quick to the aggression. Volpe's kind of been left behind a poor charge. It does cost them. Lime making sure to pick that up. The turret's in a good position, and that's already a bit of time burnt. They knew to reset at least.
They were quick to reset, but unfortunately Volpe just couldn't get the value that I think he really wanted there. Charged directly into a truck. That truck's immovable, unfortunately, despite, you know, how heavy Reinhardt must be, the big German man full of steel and grit. But here we go. Here's the second attack, and this one could go a lot better, as there's not many turrets on the left side, as they've just gone left side again, and this could be big.
Yeah, well, look, this time, again, we see Drowsy sneaks in behind, gets rid of the turret. So Taku's not having any of it this time, but Drowsy says, sorry, mate, I knew you were coming. Down they go with the ult click. Saturn's does pick up Volpe and a good kill there. The shatter falls, and that's onto the tank, but they get taken in trade. Lime getting rid of a healer, but now they've got so many people coming straight at them. This is terrifying. They're definitely not going to have any luck there. And look, 2 minutes 30, they've already found this first point.
Yeah, and it will go up another 30 seconds just to allow them that 30-second barrier to get to point that little bit faster. They're Drowsy, beautiful, getting behind them and taking out quite a lot of the members. And Artemis already with High Noon been clicking those heads they have. And now this is it. This is where you need to win here. Volpe is coming up with the shatter here. Saturn's bars, though, does have that graviton surge to see if they can stop as much as possible. Lime as well might just split the point in half.
Oh, High Noon doesn't get any value. The clone onto the McCree does come out. They're going to look to build a Noon of their own. And look, this is really smart by Firebirds. They're just sit and chill. They don't want to give any value there at all. And look, it does exactly what they want. There it is. The Noon comes in at the last second, but it's taken out. The Shatter across the lane. Law has a bad time, but Immortality Field comes in to save some careers. TD getting a lot of value with the damage output. The grab is just off the point, which is huge. They find 2 kills. Saturn really doing a lot, but Drowsy's got the ult. The grab is in return. The 1 tick is all they need, and they are going to slowly rocket on up. That's the Firebirds taking it home tonight. A beautiful performance from them.
Beautiful performance by Drowsy, TD4W, Volpe, Valet, Captain, and of course Artemis, who had an exceptional performance this match here. We see Line. This was a glorious little in the backline kill here. I don't think any of them were expecting it whatsoever. Did unfortunately get booped as well to that Mega as well, which helped him survive.
Oh man, you're actually really stealing that last kill, if anything.
100%.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Firebirds. You move up. That's another point in the win category. Unfortunately, MEOW, you couldn't quite do what Tamila Latte did to you last time, and that was that reverse sweep. But you guys put on quite a match, and I absolutely loved casting with you, Stranger. Is there any last words before we wrap up what has been a glorious night?
Jeez, we've had some fun tonight, huh? That earlier match really went out to the end as well. If you didn't catch that, guys, make sure you go watch that because that was a pretty epic play. Just like to remind everyone that we do have a Patreon if you want to get involved, and that one of the tiers of the Patreon is that you can have your game casted. So make sure if you want that to happen, you get that Patreon going.
And also a little bit of a shout out as well. So thank you so much to our amazing tier 3 patrons, or tier 2, I think actually, Galileo, Random Thing, Kerberos, Raiden, and Lamington. Thank you so much for keeping this show on the road. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much for all the other Patreon supporters. We have lots of tournaments coming up as well. It's really, really exciting stuff, and we will catch you guys in the next one. The next week will be the grand final as well, so keep your eye. Well, the quote unquote grand final. We don't exactly do one of those, but the last one for this stage. So keep your eye on for that one. But for now, stay hydrated, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much, Strange, for the cast. That was awesome.